I hope you had a nice Easter, man. I went to Louisiana, spent time with my family. What did we do? We had some, we did a crawfish boil down there. And, the crawfish boil, everybody comes out. People come out, whether they've been hiding for the winter, whatever. Your cousin Lil Andrew come out. He got a new mole on his face. Say he's talking to a girl or something. He ain't talking to no girl. Everybody knows that shit. Your friend come out. He's handicapped. Your other buddy come out. He was in a fire. Maybe Big Tiffany was in a fire. She got burnt out, and she got some salve on her back or something. But yeah, happy Easter, man. Baptize me. That's what he's saying. Robert Randolph, baptize me. Put me in the water. Take me to the real water. What's fascinating about baptizing is just getting that wash, That's the freaking Lord's car wash right there. And they dip you through that plane of water and air. It's really fascinating because you could take a fish in one hand and you could take a bird, an air bird, in the other. And you could switch them at the same time, put one underwater, one out of the water. And they both can't handle. They can't handle that smoke, baby, on the lungs. It's just interesting what a line of pressure, what a horizon of existence that plane is between water and air. It's pretty fascinating. And we used to be in water. When you're born, when you're an infantile, a baby, you're in your mother's body. You in there, you backstroking. In that vag gravy, dog, you backstroking. In the Lord's butternut squash, baby, you know what I'm saying? You're in there. You in that hot tub, baby, up in them ovaries. You hot tubbing. And you're breathing water. You're breathing liquid. Let me look it up to make sure because I don't want to lie to you. Do we breathe liquid when we are baby? Do we breathe liquid when we're a baby? The mother's placenta helps the baby breathe while it is growing in the womb. Oxygen and carbon dioxide flow through the blood in the placenta. Most of it goes to the heart and flows through the baby's body. At birth, the baby's lungs are filled with fluid. Woo-woo. It's just wild how that baptism, that dip, they're almost taking you back to whenever you were made, when you were, before you were aftermarket, before the devil got to you, and before you were aftermarket, and before you got, when they baptize you, they're almost just dipping you in that water. Just saying, hey, remember this? Remember when the Lord had you all fished out? When you was gilled out? It's interesting, man. I think it's interesting. What the hell do I know? But yeah, I had a good time, man. I slept in a child's bed, with no child in there, because I'm happy to not be a pedophile or to be doing anything like that. And I want to thank God right now that I'm not a pedophile, man, because it just seems unrewarding. It just seems like there's no... it's the one sport you can't really tell anybody you play if you do it. And it's the devil's backgammon. And I'm glad I'm not doing it today. Or ever. Ever. Also, I want to say that. I want to say ever as well. And I want to say it loud. What else is going on? I'm in a new studio. I didn't even think about that. Here I am. Got a new fake plant. Dude, I'll tell you this. A fake plant costs $119. $119 for this fucking front yard toupee right here, baby boy. $119 for this fucking chlorophyll skin graft, dog. $119 for this fern, baby, for this bullshit. Isn't that fascinating? That's the market we need to be in, the fake plant market. You know, when I was young, we grew up next to a place where they was doing what is it called? Not projectiles, but what's it called when you need something to reach something, but you don't have it? Something happened, fire, hatchet, accident, something like a prosthetic. We grew up over near a prosthetic place, and sometimes we'd go in there after hours, and the men would be in there, and they would hold it, and they'd get you a beer or something if you wanted. If you was of age, they would, they kind of had the arm and the leg kind of where you could drink, use it to have some beer for the adults. But yeah, and early prosthetics, man, them bitches was really it was bottom shelf. Some were rubber, I remember. Some of them, one of them have like a little thing you could pot a cigarette or something. It's just like shit that was kind of vague, but we grew up not far from a place that did that. What was I talking about? I don't even know. But yeah, I got that Fisker 18-inch blade, and that's what I use to solve my problem right now in my own yard. But yeah, being a homeowner is really jarring. I'm out here in the Central East, and I got a locale now, and it's just like every time I leave, it's like, do I leave the lights on? What's on? Is the oven on? Is the garbage disposal on? Is the porch light on? Is the back porch light on? There's just so many little things to think about. And before, I would leave the house with everything on. Garbage disposal, lights, thermostat, everything. Fucking cut it all on, Let this bitch vibrate while I'm out. Let it shake a little. But now it's like everything's just like, okay, I guess everything's fine. So it's just a tricky time, man. I want to thank Liquid Death for supporting us. They're a beautiful supporter. And it's good water. If you like canned water from the mountains, you will enjoy it. And if you want to die wet. That's the only way to do it. I was thinking about water, and that song had me thinking about it. That Baptize Me by Robert Randolph. Had me really thinking about that water, that agua, baby, that Spanish water. And I got some shades right here. I'm going to throw these bastards back on. I was thinking that, water was one of God's apps originally. People are shocked that God have some good apps when you think about it. Water, fire, gravity, smoke, wolves. What else? Maybe lightning, I guess. Lightning's good, but yeah, lightning, and that's probably some of the top 4 or 7. And the thing is that God, those are the original apps. People nowadays think, I got this, I got GoPuff, I got Big Girl or whatever some of the apps are. Bitch, that's nothing. Because God had those apps, baby. Fire, water. Dude, he pressed that water button. Pew, Atlantis, dog. You know what I'm saying? The bus stop was suddenly freaking 400 feet underwater. he pressed the fire button, and bam, son, San Bernardino was born. It's just, we got to think about the power. Mother Nature really has the ultimate apps. Even though we get caught up in our own, we start to get further and further from nature. I get further and further. It's kind of remarkable because I'll see a drone and I'll be fascinated. But I'll see one of those fat bumblebees, one of those freaking lemony thickets, And I won't be like, oh, whatever. I'm kind of scared or I'm not scared. I can't really decide. Wasps, I know I'm scared. Fat bumblebees, like, by the time I decide if I'm scared or not, I've kind of left wherever it was at. And they didn't have them. When I was young, they didn't have those fat bumblebees. These bitches are new. They're from Mexico or somewhere where, there's been a lot of incoming traffic, you feel me? So, that's a new thing, man. But it's just funny that I'll see a drone and be fascinated, but I'll see a bumblebee and be like, And it's like, damn, that thing's working without batteries, baby boy. That's, that's the Lord's drone right there. So that's a lot of what's going on. What else? I want to let you know that I got a tour. I'm gonna do a new tour at the end of not the end, but a little bit later in this year. I don't really know what to name it yet, but I'll be thinking about it. If you have suggestions for a name, as always, you could hit the hotline 985-664-9503. Also, let you know that Gang, the slides are back in stock. Those footy fashion pieces, baby. And the Be Good to Yourself hoodies are back in stock as well. So, a lot of nice stuff going on. What else? Let's hit a little bit of news here. Bad Baby join OnlyFans, and if she's the cash me outside girl. And she definitely, you could tell she's probably been banging a lot of brothers, and that's, let's be honest, dude. You ain't getting near her unless you really that Cafe de Color with a little neck tat, fam. You feel me? Like, I bet an ankle bracelet really makes her feel erect, probably. And I can say that she's not a child anymore. Also, is this a crime? But anyway, she's on OnlyFans now. And they said she made a ton of money on OnlyFans, the most ever, like $1 million. Let me read it, actually. She turned 18 and made $1 million in 6 hours. Pretty crazy. What scares me about apps is that just how they can quickly share whatever information and just the freedoms we allow them to have. When I was growing up and I was a child, if you say you bought something from somewhere, you bought your little donut or a little Kreller from the bakery. And they'd have a big lady working over there. Look, if it wasn't a big lady working at the bakery, I'm leaving. Okay? Okay, boss? I ain't buying a fucking donut from some little, some skinny little biscuit, Some little, Piruline, or whatever those are called, those skinny sweet sticks, Pirulines. And sometime, I'll be honest, somebody break out a thing of Pirulines, it's a gay man. And that's factual, man, but in no shade, bro. But what I'm trying to say is, you want a thick, You want that, you want Captain Thickopotamus working at the bakery. You want a dude who's putting butter on his own arm and about to fucking slice it up and eat it. You want that big biatch who's in there just frosting up them front tats, bro. You want somebody thick at a bakery because you know it's going to be good. But what I'm saying is, in the old days, if you walked into a bakery, you bought something. They didn't run out the back door of the bakery and tell everybody what you bought. There wasn't somebody running out the back door saying, oh, you know, Theo loves chocolate rum raisin donut holes. So then now for the rest of your life, you have some chocolate rum raisin hitman looming around at every turn. Because that's what it's like now. You get on any app, you buy something. For the rest of your life, they haunt you with the shit. You want Asics? You want Asics, bruh? You'll be getting your mom a damn casket. And you'll be like, damn, nothing go with that casket like some dark-ass Asics. You want these wood grain Asics? Like, bitch, I don't want any Asics. That was years ago. But, you know, so you didn't have that back in the day. But now you buy anything, you have it. And so it's a little alarming to me in the sense of an 18-year-old gets onto the sex world and is selling sexuality, selling that kind of stuff. It's not wrong. And everybody's opinion is valid. But what worries me is then whoever buys it is going to be getting baited throughout the rest of their life with that dirty bait, that young bait, that cusp bait, that line between air and water, where you breathing and you drowning. And that's what scares me, is that you can't just make a purchase one day or make a, I don't even want to, fuck, I might call it a mistake. If you buying looks at a children, at an 18-year-old, that's a mistake. But it's illegal. I mean, look, it's in your loins. I feel it. But at my age, it's a little risque. But what I worry about then is the algorithms, the ability of apps to then haunt you, to chase you, to say, hey, about this young titty, you know? Oh, we got a girl. She was a senior volleyball captain. And she bout them tits now. She's 18. You know, it's like that kind of stuff, because the algorithm's going to haunt you now. Whereas back in the day, it was a little different. You buy something at a bakery, everything stopped at the counter. And the only person that knew your secret was Thick Tiff back there. Or Fat Allen or whoever, you know, no shame, bro. No shame. So anyway, I don't know exactly what I'm saying, but that's the kind of stuff that worries me, is the ability of these apps to keep tabs, and the ability of that. Because how many times before they keep haunting somebody with an 18-year-old, and then you're just making a pervert. I don't know. I don't know anything, man. So, but anyway, that's what's going on, man. We got a lot of great calls that came in, man. Some special stuff, and I want to be a part of that, and I thank you guys for being a part of just continuing to be a part of my life over these years. And I'm excited to get back on tour, man, and we had a show in Dallas the other night, just a little show, and man, it was fun. I went and looked at some theaters to maybe shoot a Netflix special over there. Some beautiful places, and just to be working in a state, they're about to be at full capacity over there, and so that's a blessing, man. It's exciting. And it needs to happen. I think that whatever's in the air, whatever core is out there, the disease needs to run through us. It needs to run through us, man. That's what I think. But what do I know? I don't know shit. I mean, look at me. So I'm dressed like this. I'm going to tell you this, man. I've been losing my hair, and you know it. And I do everything I can to reposition my hair, to restructure. I will recall hair. I'll stay up all night writing notes to my mustache trying to convince it to move up north. 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time they are 35. That's unbelievable, but not really. It's pretty obvious if you look at people. Some of them's doing bad with their hair. But I'm here to tell you it's okay. More than 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from male pattern baldness. It's not like something you did. It's just that topography. It's that farming. But I'm going to tell you right now, there are only 2 FDA-approved medications that can prevent hair loss, and Keeps offers both. That's right. I take Keeps because I want to keep my hair. I tried it because I was worried about losing my hair. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/Theo to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's KEEPS.com/THEO to get your first month free. Keeps.com/Theo. Prevention is key. Keep what you have. Treatments can take up to 4 to 6 months to see results, so act fast. Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. That's right. That's right. You want to keep that fluff, baby. That's what you have to keep. You got to keep that fluff. I'll tell you also about Mint Mobile. After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless. Hey, my name's Donnie Sprint. If we learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month, $15 a month for wireless service. That's a deal. I thought, what's the catch? But after speaking with them, I realized there is not one. That's right. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only by cutting out retail stores. There's no crazy overhead costs that get passed down to you in the form of mystery fees. Nope. None of that. That's all gone. There's no brick and mortar stores. Mint just passes on the sweet savings to you. For people looking for extra savings, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I just keep telling you that because those are the facts. If you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee to get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free. Go to mintmobile.com/THEO. That's mintmobile.com/Theo. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Theo. We got a lot of great calls that came in. What else is new going on in my life? I got a lot to do at home, man. Jeez. Got a lot to do, brother. There's just so many, you need towels, you need soaps, you need silverware. I got plastic plates, and unfortunately I got 3 things of plastic plates because the picture on the website looked like bowls, but it was plates. And I think it said bowls. I think they spelled plates with a BOWLES. So I'll fold the freaking plate into like a little bowl and get my cereal in the morning. And then they got some red robins doing a nest outside with eggs in it. And so I don't want to go out there and cause any harm. I don't want to affect Mother Nature. I got enough shit on my fucking docket at the moment. So that's where I am with that. What else? Had some people come move a refrigerator in and they broke one of the front steps. Had the limb fall in the backyard. Just regular life, man. Regular life shit. Don't have a hamper yet, so it's just, when you don't have a hamper, everywhere's a hamper. You know the drill, boy. Everywhere's a hamper. So I'm just doing that. I'm living that life right now. And I think some of it feels a little sad. It's a little sad to be, not sad, but it's like, it makes you, it's one of those moments where you get in a new place and you're like, okay, it's almost like walking up a staircase, not really up, but even sideways on a platform or something. The view is different. Like, okay, well, here I am now. I'm in a home. How do I feel? What's it feel like? What other responsibilities? Do I need a dog? Do I need, one of those freezers for like catfish and beef and stuff that you keep in the refrigerator in the garage? You just start thinking, what other adult shit do I need? Do I need a wreath on my door at Christmas? It's just, you start thinking about a lot of stuff like that. Adulthood, it's a little scary. But it's good. It's just a little scary. Let's hit the news one more time, man. An article, Justice Clarence Thomas, and I didn't even know his first name was Justice, but that's pretty dope. Justice Clarence Thomas said on Monday that Congress should suggest whether laws should be updated to regulate social media platforms. He claims social media platforms have come to have unbridled control over unprecedented amounts of speech. Suggested the platforms should be used as common carriers such as trains and telephone companies, both having large amounts of government regulations. I think about this a lot because it does seem to me that what used to be people just talking, now the place where you talk is now social media. That has become the communication environment. And I guess people could debate and say, well, no, you could just talk to your neighbors or talk to some, but you can, but that's not really what goes on anymore. Most talking or communicating is done now online, whereas it used to be you had to go and see something live. There's now so much more accessibility to communication online. Most accessibility to communication is online. And I guess I feel like people should be able to say whatever they want, because it's almost like the companies have become like the microphone. So everybody has a microphone now, and the companies have owned the microphone, where they can't own your actual voice, but they own the thing your voice goes through to reach others, that spigot. And yeah, I feel like it should be regulated somehow. You hate to have the government involved, but at the same time, because you want like free speech, but if the way we speak is now goes through a filter, and that filter has judgment or jurisdiction over what is okay to say, then that seems very dangerous. Because now speech doesn't feel free, it feels very specific. Like you're allowed to say things, but not these things. And I'd love to know what some of you guys think on that. If you could hit the hotline, 985-664-9503. I just... Because I feel like a lot of things, they're just not allowed to be shared and not allowed to be said online. Things get labeled, and then taken down. So that just feels alarming. At least let people decide what they want to hear or believe. But everyone should have the ability to share, I feel like. And I'm open to hear different people's thoughts on that, because maybe also it's just our responsibility to be like, oh, well, this platform doesn't allow everything to be shared. And I think most people know that. But I don't know. Just a lot there, man. There's a lot in that little cauldron. So if you want to stir that thing, hit the hotline, 985-664-9503. What else do we have here? We got a call that came in from Skylar.
What's up, Theo? This is, my name's Skylar. I'm out of the deep north up here in California, Humboldt County.
Hey, Skylar, thank you for calling up there from Humboldt County. You know, my friend went to school up there and he actually died, but beautiful fella. And his birthday just passed, my friend Ryan Thomas. And I hope he knows that I love him in heaven, baby. Gang, baby, onward. Thank you for calling, brother.
I had a question for you. My girlfriend, we've been going on 3 years now, just about, and she's got this opportunity to do 80 days backpacking, sea kayaking out in New Zealand. Just been kind of thinking about it a lot. It's kind of a long time away. Just wondering what's your thoughts on how I could handle that. And, yeah, man, I love your podcast. Listen to it every day. Doing drywall and painting, and you get me through that shit. So appreciate you. Thank you a lot. Later.
Gang, brother Yen. I mean, drywall is really, everybody knows you're halfway to doing drugs. And so I wish you well, brother. And, you know, your girlfriend got the opportunity to have an experience. And I appreciate you caring for even what I think about it. I would suggest that you just let her do it and try to find ways to just be as supportive as you can. You know, let her go have an experience. Now, you hope she doesn't really get real indigenous out there, you know, and she's, you know, out there making, you know, meets a Sherpa or something like that, and they're, you know, starting a little Swiss Family Robinson or something, but that's probably not going to happen, man. People's hiking is dangerous. People die. And, you know, it's hard to get erect when people have fever, when people are hungry and altitude, all of that. There's a lot of factors that are going to really probably keep the man off of her. But I think the biggest thing, man, is just to love her and just do what you can to love her and just, yeah, send her out on the way and be supportive. You know, get her a nice compass or get her a nice, you know, something that when she looks for direction or thinks about direction, that she thinks about you, you know. Because that's going to, I think, really, then you're going to get into the entrails of her thoughts and of her feelings like, oh, man, the real direction I need in my life is that fella right there. But, yeah, it's tough because you don't want to hold somebody back from an opportunity, but at the same time, you want to hold somebody. And that's a real tricky biscuit, man. That's air and water, man. That's air and water. Let's hear right here. Aaron Rodgers, speaking of air, Aaron Rodgers on Jeopardy. A question came in on Aaron Rodgers. Somebody asked him. This was interesting.
Over to our two-day champion on the end. Scott, did you come up with the correct response? Who wanted to kick that field goal? That is a great question. Should be correct, but unfortunately for this game today, that's incorrect, and you're going to lose.
And a man asked him on there, Aaron Rodgers famously, they didn't make the Super Bowl because they, well, who knows if that's why, but they chose to kick a field goal instead of go for it. And so a guy asked him that on Jeopardy when he was hosting Jeopardy. Aaron Rodgers has the most punchable face I think I've ever seen, really. It's just so punchable. But yeah, I think that was great, man. I love it when somebody hits somebody with the surprise with that rare element. You know, you hit them with that plutonium or that egregium, bro. When you shock the table, bro, and hit them with that periodic fucking uniqueness, dog, gang. So that's a good question. Who wanted to kick that field goal? Who knows, man? What else do we have, man? We got a lot of calls that came in. Let's do one right here that came in.
Hey Theo, what's going on, bro? My name's Brad. I'm coming to you from Gaylord, Michigan.
Big Bread, and that's a rare name, man. That's the carbohydrate hitter, baby. Big Bread. Let's hear it.
I just got 2 questions for you here. The first one is, so I'm gonna stop. I'm 22 years old, and I'm gonna stop smoking weed on Monday here.
Sure you are, Bread. Let's hear more, bud.
I know you used to be addicted to them cigarettes. So I'm just curious on what you would do to kind of keep your mind off that and to like not reach for one.
Oh yeah, man, stay away from that weed, because that weed is it's like a pillow, but it's like putting your head on a pillow, but the pillow's inside your head. I think I would probably do some fitness too. I think doing fitness is like, it's hard to go for a jog, I feel like, and then want to get stoned. I feel like if you activate the other side of you, that physical side, maybe it'll just keep your pump up, and you'll feel so good off them endorphins you won't want to get playing it out. But those are my thoughts. I don't know. You might want to smoke weed forever also. You might want to do it and just not tell your friends. You might want to, you could try DMT. That could help you quit. That's what got me to quit cigarettes. And I still, actually I don't, man. It took the real desire to have that hit out of me. Because that's the thing about smoking weed. I want to suck on that thing, bruh. I want to suck on that grassy knob, daddy. You know what I'm saying? That joint. I want to fucking tickle my lungs with that fucking soft little field stick, baby. That joint. So, I wasn't good at them joints, man. A lot of brothers are better at smoking weed, I think, than whites. Praise God, man. And I seen a mailman the other day smoke, or male woman, I'm not sure whether it was a man or woman, and they were urban, and they was smoking a joint. And I didn't fucking say nothing, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't say anything anymore, so you just kind of pray for them and just don't use the postal system anymore. It's almost getting back to days, you just take a letter to somebody if you need to get it to them. But anyway, what else you got, bub?
Also, I got me and 4 buddies coming to, we're making a road trip down to Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm just curious if you have any input on what we should do. We're staying right on Broadway there. I don't know. We don't know if we should pull up with some cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. I'm just curious if you could tell me how it's looking down there.
Well, look, it's open. It's open carry as well. I think it's an open carry state, so you could Glock up. I think they just opened that up. And, it's the Central East, man, so it's all types of people. Broadway does have a real country vibe to it, but there's all types around here. And it's, it's a tourist destination. I think find some things to do that are outside of just right in the city. I mean, unless you guys are just looking to rage. If that's the case, if y'all just looking to shed some skin, bruh, and just dick out or whatever they call it, or just touch titty or whatever, then you'll be fine. But if you want more than that, then you probably need to talk to a concierge or look at a, like a pamphlet or something and find other stuff to do. My favorite thing to do is just drive out to the countryside, just take a cruise out somewhere. But that's not always the thing you're looking to do when you and your buddies are just trying to get bent out, and try to make sure everybody's straight. That's the thing. As you get older and you go get wasted with a bunch of friends, it's really, you just got, that's how you just make sure that everybody's straight in the group. So what else, man? I know that this story came in right here, and this is a news story. Man dies in taco eating contest, family files suit. A California man choked and died during an amateur taco eating contest at a minor league baseball game. The son of the man is suing the event's organizers for negligence. The president of the league declined to give a statement. You know, there's a lot worse ways to go, man. There's a lot worse ways to go than with half a taco in you. And these days, nobody wants to have any accountability, no matter what it is. You know, everybody wants to hashtag Taco Tuesday and, nom, 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 nom. But they can't back it up in the streets. They get out there on them taquitos or them beef quesadillas. And they can't back it up. Bye. So I think in this case, you almost got to let bygones be bygones, man. Unless they use that T-shirt cannon and shot it down your boy's gullet. I mean, it's highly unfortunate. You know, first of all, it's extremely unfortunate to even have people know that you were at a minor league baseball game. And then that you never left because you're with the Lord now. And you got tacoed out. I mean, it's heartbreaking, man. And I feel for the family, and I feel for the fella that went down on that entree. But I don't know if a lawsuit helps. It's just gonna, it's gonna cripple the team. The team will be done. So maybe see if you could sue to have to change the name. Sue to see if you could change the name to something in memoriam of your son. That might be kind of nice. At least that way there's going to be a piece of him still alive, in a special way that will, because other people are going to go to the games and find joy. But I'm sorry, man. R.I.P., bro. Praise God, bro. So, man, I'm tired today. It's been a long couple of, I was out of town for like a week. Went to L.A., then went to Easter. And it's good, man. It's good, man. What else? We got a video that came in right here. Let's take a peek. This is a young fella with Down syndrome. And I beat it. And this beautiful fella right here, this toddler, he's playing football.
And the handoff comes to Sam Brady. Sam with the 10. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's going to
That's beautiful, man. This fella for the Wildcats. And he has Down syndrome, and he played for the Wildcats, and they let him run in for the score. And that kind of stuff is sweet, man. It's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see the little fella getting out there, getting into the end zone, feeling that fire, Because so many people don't get to feel that camaraderie. I do think, though, that somebody towards the end of the thing should have lit him up a little bit. Have a brother, at least a mixed dude, fly in and just right as he crosses the goal line, crack him a little. Just to really, because that's how you learn, man. Going through the fire. You could let anybody just run across the track. You get a good feeling. I'm sure it's uplifting. But knowing that you got laid down by a mixed dude right at the end, I think that makes it even doper if he shows it to his friends or when he watches it back, It gives it that vitriol. So I know the fella's already got that DS on him, and I wish they, You know, I feel like they just should have had a brother crack him down at the end, or just somebody, and not like hurt him. You're not trying to hurt the guy. You know, he's already got his thing going on, but I just feel like you want him to feel the whole vibe of the game. But I don't know. You know, and that's just my take on it, man. And I probably shouldn't be allowed to have takes on things, but what else do we have here, man? Let's do one or two more. And first, I want to let you know also that you should know that the dick pills are good. They're good, man. You know, your penis is rare. You know, your penis is like a fingerprint. It's the only one that looks like your penis. Do you know that? You know, 6 out of 12 people can't even draw their picture of their own penis decently. Unbelievable. But that's the times we live in. That's where we are. And what I'm telling you today is that Blue Chew can help you out. I got a batch of them. If you don't want to eat a whole one, just nibble a half, dog, and go hard, bro. Or go semi-hard. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. Their tablets help men achieve harder, stronger erections. To combat ET, if you were in a war, if you were in electrocution, somebody slam your dick in it all. Whatever happened to you, somebody put a trance on your dick, whatever happened to you, Blue Chew can help. You don't like swallowing pills? No problem. Blue Chew's sildenafil and tadalafil tablets are chewable. Their tablets are made in the USA. They prepare and ship direct. It's cheaper than a pharmacy. That's right. Blue Chew, a unique online service. It's an online prescription service. No visits to the doctors. No awkward conversations. Here's a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code THEO at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code THEO to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. I've tried them. I like them. I like them to get you that rum Springer, dog, you know? Because you want to Amish up that rod, fam, gang. All right. Here's a call that came in right here.
What's up, Theo? My name's Nate. I'm from New York. I'm 26 years old, and I suffer from pretty severe anxiety.
Okay, Nate. Anxious Nate, baby. That rattler, dog. You got that rattle in you. Yes, sir. Let's hear more.
And I know you take antidepressants, and you're quite open about it. And I'm really nervous to inquire about it. I'm nervous that I'll lose my edge. I'll lose my personality. I'm an artist, and I'm nervous that it'll zap my creativity. But I most certainly see that it has not zapped yours. So I was just wondering if you could give me any advice. I appreciate your honesty, man. Thank you for everything. Peace out. Gang, gang.
Gang, Nathaniel, and thank you. Thank you for reaching out, man, and just checking in with us, and for sharing that you on the anxiety meds. I mean, they're pushing meds. Dude, if you look at commercials, 1 out of 3 commercials is for meds. There's only like 9 companies anymore. And 1 out of 3 commercials is for meds, man. It's intense out there. And so everybody's on something. Or hell, the other day I unzipped my pants. My penis was taking a pill. I didn't even have anything to do with it. Everything's pilling out. You know, you'll find a dang pill in your ass, bro. You know, it's like that. People's pilled out. And everybody's on something. But, you know, the anti-anxiety med, yeah, I've taken them all, man. Zoloft. But I would call Zoloft no loft because I couldn't get that erect. You know, I was really sponged out in that ween, baby. You know it. So the hard part is keeping your penis full. Because the crazy part is your brain, I feel like, will get happier on the anti-anxiety meds. Your brain will get better off. You just don't care about things as much. You see a squirrel get shot or something. You feel bad, but you don't feel bad. You just know you feel bad. Something sad happens, you get sad, but you don't get that sad. You just kind of know that you feel sad. So it kind of, like when you went bowling as a child and they had them bumper bowlings on, it's like that. But for feelings. Just puts the bumpers on, man. And sometimes I want the bumpers off. I want the full throttle. I want that dirty Monty, I want that nasty. I want all the feelings. So that's the trade-off. You don't get the highs and you don't get the lows. You get a whole lot of harsh mediums. Good and bad. So sometimes I wish I could quit, and now I can't quit. I quit for a few days and I spiral a little. And I don't even know if it's placebo or if it's real. But I quit for a few days and then I get real scared. One bad thing happens and I think, I start feeling some type of way, and then I feel like everything's going to be bad and I have to get right back on it. And it's crazy to me that something that I went in for 20 years ago, they gave me this pill and I'm still taking it. That's wild. It feels not right. Like if you broke your arm and they put a cast on it 20 years ago, if you still had the cast on, it seems like they'd have some way to get you off the cast. And that's the thing about it. It's more like getting, I don't know, it's like an eternal thing. But don't feel bad about it. A lot of people are on it. I would just kind of monitor how you are on it and then make an educated guess for yourself. These are unique times and these are meted up times. And just know you're not alone, man. And people love talking about it. Hell, you flash a fluoxetine or a damn, what is that other one called? It's Wellbutrin at a bar. Pew. I mean, look, bitches love Butrin. I've seen those shirts before. So it's possible to really find joy even on the pills and everything. So, oh man, my back hurts. Something always hurts. Jesus, man. Getting old, your fucking body fucking hurts. It's hard, man. And I gotta pee all the time. I start to feel like I'm just carrying pee around. I feel like a camel more than a person. Like, oh, here's some more pee. Here's some pee. Here's some pee. Matter of fact, I'm going to pee before this last call. All right. I'm lucky to have a job. I got to remember that. I've been making a lot of gratitude lists recently, and that's been helping me keep my mind in a good spot. Because the world is weird. The world is always going to be weird. And really, our world is better than a lot of people have ever had it. And I believe that. And I got to take care of my space and my brain space, I be careful where I set my brain and where I set my attention and where I set my sponge. Because you'll absorb, man. Let's take another call that came in here, man. Here we go.
Hey, Theo, this is Jordan out in Denver, Colorado.
Hey, Jordan. Thank you for the call, man. You sound like my friend John, who's a friend of mine that used to work for J.P. Pacone. I think they did construction or something. I think he's still alive, but not definite. Let's hear more, brother. Thank you for calling, Jordan. Sorry.
Been a long time listening to your podcast. I work by myself every day, so I have you in my ear most days, and you help me get through and make me laugh and make the work day that much easier.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. You know, you make my work day easier by being on the phone here and just chiming in. So thank you for checking in, man. Gang, onward.
I was just calling my little brother. He's a couple of years younger than me. He just graduated from physical therapy school. He was supposed to get his license and, go start off on that career. And lately, alcohol has gotten the better of him, and his addiction is winning out over that potentially new exciting career. And he had about 6 weeks sober and relapsed this past Thursday, and he's just been deep in it. And he doesn't want to live. He wants to drink himself to death and be left alone to do it. And I don't know how to reach him, man. So any advice you might have for me? I know you know so much about this kind of thing, and listen to you talk to other callers on the podcast. And so if you have anything you can give me, if you have time to shout out to him, and just let him know that he's worthy, that he's okay. I appreciate it.
Gang, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you for calling. Thank you for caring about your brother. Thank you for putting that into the world. Man, it's hard. It's hard to watch somebody we care about struggle, bro. It's hard. It's hard when we can't see, when we can't feel how much people care. I think that's a common problem with people that struggle, is they can't feel the care for some reason. They just can't feel it. They just don't. Their antennas, heart antennas are not very long. And they have a short memory. Their heart has a short memory. That's literally what it feels. It feels like sometimes like my heart just has such a short memory. And I don't want it to. It's not a choice. It's a defect. But man, thank you for just reminding me of what it's like to care about a brother. Thank you for just sharing, for sharing that. It just hearing you, just call you care about your brother. You want him to be okay, Yeah, and if I had a message for him, I would just say, hey, man, I wish you didn't feel so bad. I really, really wish you didn't feel so bad. And I bet you probably hurt in a place that you can't even access. And I bet you want people to see how much you hurt, but you just, you feel like maybe no matter what you do, it's not going to show them. And yeah, I just want you to know that that there's a possibility for things to get better. There's ways for you to feel better, and I know it may not feel like that's possible, but there really are. This year's been hard. This life has been hard in some ways, in emotional ways. Living is a hard thing to do. It's a job that you never signed up for. It's like suddenly you're like 9 years old and you're like, holy shit, I work at FedEx. Like, I don't know. It's a shock a lot of times. But I'm sorry that your brother's having such a tough time, man, and I'm sorry that you're having a tough time too. You know, I've had siblings that have struggled, and I've gotten messages from people who know that I struggle, and it's you know, I know it's so hard for people to watch other people go through a tough time, and you know, I wish your brother knew how much of that we wanted him here. Because if he's deep enough to feel all that pain, bro, if there's that much depth in him, then there's that much depth in him for joy as well. You know, there's not many people in the world that God kind of lets walk through that depth of pain, man. So for him if he could get through it and to be able to then help others, dang, it's like talking to Christopher Columbus, bro. It's like talking to that emotional Magellan. You know, they've been on those high seas. It's just a lot of, it's almost like going to outer space, man. But like inside yourself, you know, it's,
Does it still be skinny, but max out a credit card with that. Got to get around. So I maxed out. I got like a $11,000 car loan, but I couldn't afford the down payment. Of course, I didn't know anything about money, so I borrowed like $5,000 from the grandparents just to get a down payment on a car. It's the same stuff we're seeing on the show.
so you were just in a bad spot.
Bad spot. Private student loans too, man. It was rough.
And had you been getting advice from anybody, or you were just?
No, this was generational. My parents, even though they are better now, I'll give them credit there. We grew up definitely lower middle class, foreclosure notices, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, when the people who would teach you about that kind of stuff, because our school system really doesn't, at least in Michigan, and I don't think Texas either. At that point, you rely on them to teach you, but they didn't know anything. So I was just continuing that cycle. It's like every time you see people coming from a lower middle class background or a poverty background, it's just that endless cycle because you can't learn from anywhere. And you have to get that drive somehow.
Right. Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, I was always kind of amazed that they didn't teach us in school. Like if you didn't have a strategy, like they would have people come for, like parents would come, or people in our community that had jobs would come and talk to us, but they never had like people that had really fucked up. You know,
I
they
know.
never had like a crack addict come and talk to the class for 20 minutes and be like, this is how this happened, right? Or they never had anybody that was selling leg or selling cooter or whatever on the street tell, you know, like, hey, this is how things fell apart. Like they never had that other side of somebody who was like in a second bankruptcy, or somebody who'd been abused in a marriage. You know, it's like you never really got, you always just got the like, I'm a fireman, you know, and it'd be like, and the kids would be like, awesome, you know,
Yeah.
and the guy would let you play with his axe or whatever. It's like, but you never got like the other side of it. It's kind of crazy that they don't have that just in like kind of elementary education, you know?
Dude, it's crazy. I think it's like a 1 week subject in the class where they also spend like 2 weeks showing you birthing videos.
Yeah.
You know, this is something that passes over real quick.
Okay, so you were bad off.
Real bad.
And how did you get unbad off?
I just started becoming obsessed with, well, I was always interested in the world of real estate. So like HGTV, I ate that shit up. I don't know why. This is that weird kid who loved HGTV.
Yeah.
So, you know, all the different home shows, I was interested in real estate, and that's kind of just a decent connection and segue over to personal finances. So eventually, once I started realizing, can't afford rent, I started just Googling some things, and I found some other creators, some other podcasts, like Bigger Pockets podcast is really good. I think I started
Bigger Pockets, it's called?
Yeah, it's really
Okay.
good. Those in real estate. Do you know Graham Stephan, the finance YouTuber?
Let's see a picture of him.
Yeah, little short dude.
Graham Stephan. Nope, I don't know him.
He's one of the OG finance YouTubers, and I think I started watching him when he was up and coming. And I was like, wow, I can't believe how absolutely stupid I am with finances. I didn't even know there was this other world. And then to accomplish the things I dream of accomplishing, it's going to take actually marking the goals I want to get to and the different steps that are required to get there. And that's where I started to actually focus on building the income, not just the hobby stuff. You know, I was doing music composition, and, you know, I was making like $30,000 a year off of that in college and dropped out of college. But from there, I just knew I had to go get stronger income, actually build myself a budget. And that's when I started, you know, looking to move in different areas. And I got a connection down in Austin. And that's when like I actually started putting the focus in pointing my money in the right direction, building a budget for the first time. And it's been good since then.
Yeah. Okay, so you started to put your money back together. Like you started, I mean, did you pay off some of those things? Did you get rid of the car? You said you dropped out of school. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you just realized it wasn't for you, or?
Okay, it's going to sound like the most arrogant, cunty thing ever. But like, I was actually making more on my music compositions than my own professors did on their own compositions. So I was like, why am I spending more money to go in school?
Okay,
so
so
that's when I dropped out.
Okay, you already
Yeah.
felt like you kind of been able to learn what they were going to teach you over a course of a long time.
Kind of. I mean, I like the lessons and stuff, but then I still had to go to all these other classes that don't matter, and I had to spend money on that.
Right.
Or at least things that were going for the degree. But at that point, I still knew nothing about personal finances. Once I moved to Austin, I wanted to get a job that focused on me being my own business, essentially. That's what I was doing with music composition. And one of the best jobs that just like you and I could go get today if we wanted to, where your own business is sales.
Okay.
You know, you are your business. You're out there building the client base. And that's what I ended up doing. And with that, I reached the top of the sales team immediately.
Selling.
Selling. It was trading education, you know, like stock trading and some memberships and stuff like that.
Okay, so no, I'm not familiar with what you're talking about.
Like stock market.
Okay, so you became an investor?
No, I was selling classes that taught people how to become day traders and stuff.
Okay, so day trading courses.
Really bad products, I'll be honest. But
Really?
you know, I just had to, you know, I was taking the job that would hire.
Okay, so the actual product wasn't a good product, or it just you thought it was?
It was fine. Just people shouldn't be day traders. That's the thing.
Oh, I see.
It's like 90% lose money. It's not that the people that were teaching it were bad or the education itself was bad. It's just like that's probably too risky for your average person to get into.
So it's just a risky thing to get into.
Risky to get into, but luckily the people I was selling to, they were with people with too much money, too much time.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, it wasn't like
You weren't selling it to children or whatever.
No.
Okay.
No. Especially since, I mean, I think you have to be 18 to open a brokerage, or at least to open those kind of accounts, if I'm not mistaken. But actually being able to build that like personal business, personal brand, and getting to the top of the sales team, eventually getting to the place, you know, bringing in six figures.
Wow.
Grinding for a couple years, I focused on paying off my grandparents first because it was family debt. It's a little emotional. That's probably not what I would necessarily suggest today to people that I'm talking to, but that's what felt right in that moment. And then the credit cards.
Is what paying off your grandparents, you mean?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, because you have to see them. You still have to answer their calls, and you have to hear the timbre in your grandmother's voice, you know, knowing that they're concerned about their future because they're missing a little bit of their nest egg.
Exactly. And they were nice enough to give me that money in a hard time. I got to be nice enough to prioritize paying it back.
Right.
And then the 30% credit cards I had from there, about $10,000 total in credit card debt. And then Sally Mae, you know that bitch?
Oh, yeah, the loan specialist?
Oh, yeah. No, she's not great. So I had some like 12% interest, private student loan debt, maybe 15%. It just kept ballooning. So I focused on paying that off after that.
But those are private ones, right? So there's ones you get from the state that are lower percentage? Okay.
Yep, I had federal backed student loans. I still do because I'm not going to pay them off because they're only 4%. No, actually, mine are like 3%. So I'd rather invest instead.
Right.
So I'm just doing my minimum monthlies there. But so because Sally and her 15% were just so crappy, I focused on paying those off next. And then eventually my car debt as well, because that was also like 11% for a Nissan Altima, 2013. I don't know if you're a Nissan Altima girly, but their transmissions, they all die immediately.
Yeah.
So it was like 60,000 miles and the transmission was dying.
Yeah.
So, and I already owed debt on it.
Oh, yeah. Altima is definitely a lot of Latinos would drive them, I know. And then my ex-girlfriend drove one.
Oh.
Okay, so you started to get out of debt. You got some money going. You found out that you realized maybe the direction you were going in school wasn't for you. It sounded like you started to make some kind of like severe choices, right?
Yeah, big life choices. Moving across the country, packing up the sedan. You know, going from Michigan to Texas. I guess it's not across the country, but it was a big move for me. And focus on paying off that debt. And that's once I got my emergency fund, which is what we prioritize after paying off high interest debt. That's where I was like, I can finally start accomplishing the dreams I wanted to. And I was putting 10% down on a house here in Austin.
Oh, wow.
And that was my big goal.
And were you still doing sales at that point?
Yes. I was still doing sales and I started moving in the world of like product management and the tech world. But
like, what does that mean?
So it was kind of like fake product manager, I'll be honest, for all those that know product management out there. But I was like overseeing memberships at that company that I was talking about and trying to improve their products. and I was just kind of overseeing that, working with different teams. But
Okay.
I was transitioning to that world because, again, I just like I like running some things. That's why I like building out the company that we have now and having management over products and just making a better experience for the clients.
Okay. And is the product you sell now to people, is that a more helpful product, you think, than the first one, the other?
Oh, absolutely.
The day trading stuff?
Yeah, because what we're doing now, like our simpler budget app, like that is an app that people can use and actually follow a budget, hit the goals that they're trying to do. It's things that actually help people instead of like, hey, there's a 10% chance you might be successful in this field. Good luck.
Right.
That was kind of the products back then. But yeah, so people can actually, finally take control over their destiny.
Okay. What is, you talk a lot, okay, so I feel like I have a decent understanding now of how you kind of got to where you are, right? Like a lot of it sounds like you're like, okay, college isn't for me, I need to change that. These are the high interest things that I need to get a job or find a field. You found sales, it's working well for me. And then I need to find out the higher interest things, I need to get out of those first. The lower interest things I can keep, because if I can invest at a slightly higher interest rate, then I'm going to be hypothetically or hopefully paying those off over time, assuming I can make more than the 3 or 4%.
Exactly.
Okay, so now you have a YouTube channel where you kind of talk, it seems like, to a lot of like Gen Z. Is that kind of safe to say? Gen Z millennials?
Gen Z millennial.
Okay. Yeah. What is the number one thing that they are going into debt over now?
In America, cars, man. Cars. Everything's drivable infrastructure here, so you have no choice but to get a car. You need a car to get a job to pay for the car.
Right. They kind of locked us into that, huh?
Yeah.
What's that? Is there a theory that they did that on purpose, that a lot of that's done on purpose, you think? That they created like this car economy? Can you look up, just see what you find on that?
Well, I know in the 1950s, right? That's where they start passing like the highway infrastructure bill, and that it's a lot of it for intercontinental connection, especially for military safety, being able to move things back and forth across cities. But with that, they came into the cities like Dallas and Houston and LA, and they bulldozed massive communities and just built highways throughout. Then you had white flight from the cities to the suburbs, and then in order to get to the city where the jobs are, got to drive on the highway, and it's a cycle from there.
Yeah, I think you pretty much just answered it. That's what it seems like a lot of that is. It was like, yeah, people wanted to also live in the suburbs. They didn't want to be in the place maybe right, around a bunch of building stuff. You want to have a yard. You want to have a little bit more space.
And cities went to shit after that too. It really did. Whether it's funding or just the job opportunities, like they went to shit. Like New York in the 80s was a shithole, right? So that's, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think you have a lot of people, like if people want to have a yard and want to have an environment they take care of, then they kind of, if they take that energy out of the city, then that's not in the city anymore.
People want to live in the city now, though. People are giving up their car, and in my age range, in the audience's age range, they want to live in those more walkable communities. And I'm moving to a walkable community. I love to not have to drive. It's
a nightmare. Nice. Yeah, kind of like my parents, it was the thing where they wanted to drive into work and drive home. That was part of like the commute, it was almost part of their lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think that was like a big part of the lifestyle then. Let me see. Commuting as we know it today, with people regularly traveling significant distance between home and work, became prominent during the mid-19th century, primarily due to the Industrial Revolution, which led to large population shifts towards urban areas and the development of suburban communities accessible by newly established rail systems, allowing people to live further from their workplace and commute into work regularly. The term commute itself originates from this era of early rail travel, where people paid a commuted fare for regular travel to the city. Oh, wow. So I guess if you were like a person that came every day for their job into like, rural New York, into New York City, then you paid a commuted fare.
Yeah. And I'm honestly not against like the driving if you want to, or living with more space. I'm not against that at all. Like I actually like that. The community I'm moving to is kind of like that. It's a hybrid. But what I don't like, dude, I don't know how much you know about zoning in the US, but it's crazy. We're supposed to be like this capitalist bastion of freedom, but we don't let anyone build what they want on their property. So you live in a neighborhood, and in order to get a coffee, you have to drive 10 minutes because no one can build a coffee shop in the neighborhood.
Right.
Because we tell people what they have to build instead of letting the people determine the market and the market determining what gets built in places. That's what I want to see, a more freedom-esque living situation where people can build their communities.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But then I guess, what if you have a place you finally call home, you love it, and then somebody next door builds like a neon lights shop or something.
Yeah.
And they're just huge, and they're put billboards up in their yard. Like that kind of thing, I feel like would lead to war.
Yeah, that's more like HOA, you know? So, like, I'm okay with, like, small communities coming together and deciding what's good for their community. But a whole state or a city saying, no, you know, you're 40 minutes from City Hall. You can't build a bakery there.
Right.
Sorry, a highway has to go there.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I guess sometimes you don't know what a city's overall strategies are, too. It's like sometimes just as a regular citizen, even though you may think that we do, maybe we wouldn't know sometimes what their overall strategies are.
There's this crazy concept where Austin, we built housing. You know, we just allowed developers and capitalism to take place. So we built housing. Guess what's been the largest rent decrease in the nation? Austin. Who would have thought?
The largest rent decrease? Why? Because there's extra housing.
Yeah, we built so much housing.
Yeah.
Because we just let capitalism happen.
But so you're saying that's the bad side of it?
Well, it sucks for people, I guess, property values or landlords, but it's
also
good
a blessing
people.
for people that can live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, one of the worst things that happens in a lot of places is the artists and stuff are the first to have to leave an area because they're the ones who can't afford to live there anymore. You know, I think that happens in a lot of cities where, you know, rent prices start to go up. And then the guy who's like just doing his best to make ends meet, who plays a saxophone or, you know, who runs an art studio, they can't afford to keep their, you know, they're kind of the first to go a lot of times.
Yeah, gentrification's weird because, like, honestly, you kind of go in there, you do get better restaurants, you get better amenities, things do become nicer and safer, but then there is like that dude who gets pushed out. So there's positive. Gentrification's a bad word, kind of a swear word, you know?
Because what is gentrification? You mean it means white people moving in and moving people out?
I think it's more just money and development, but people do associate it with that. And like,
so gentrification is the process whereby characters of a poor urban area is changed by wealthier people moving in, improving housing, and attracting new businesses, typically displacing current inhabitants of the process. Right. So they're kind of, you lose a lot of culture.
Yeah,
because you
develop new culture too, but you lose like the old culture, right?
Yeah.
That's where I want more access to like home ownership, because if someone owns a home in that area and gentrification happens, you know, they can make a lot of money. So I want the people who are already there to have access to be able to get into the home and buy it. It's the renters that get pushed out, like the saxophone guy. He'd be the one that gets pushed out, and that sucks.
Yeah, and you lose a lot of authenticity there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You lose people who know the lore of the neighborhood, and then everything just starts to be a Panera Bread too, which really starts to suck.
Chain, yeah, they chain
That's
it
one
up.
thing that starts to happen in a lot of places is you just run a lot of the same, and a lot of cities start to look the same.
Yes.
And then you don't have there's no reason to even go to another city. You're like, why do I want to go there if it's just going to be another restaurant that's just next door to me? It's the same.
I think they're called like 5x1s, like all the buildings that you see everywhere where they're like 5-story apartment complexes with the same chains on every floor. It's the cheapest to build. That's usually what the city messes it up by only zoning for that, because everything has to be one size fits all.
Yeah, Nashville's ruined. They have a great area there called 12 South, and it has all these like great little shops and stores. And then now it has like a rag and bone. It's just like it had like quaint vibes. You could walk down. It just felt like you were in like a neat pocket. And then now it just
have my freedom and just go make money, do what I want, go to college, figure it out. And there's so many learning lessons you get during that time period. But now it's like I'm a child. Not everyone, but it definitely feels like a cultural shift.
Huh.
You know those predator like beating videos online?
Oh yeah, there's so many of them now.
Yeah. One thing that's I just saw yesterday on Twitter or X that was just kind of demonstrating what happens when Gen Z meets with those predator beating videos. They lured someone, you know, as usual, to meet an underage person to beat the crap out of the person. But the Gen Z people lured a 21-year-old to meet an 18-year-old and beat the shit out of the 21-year-old for meeting an 18-year-old because it's a huge, crazy underage 18-year-old who's a child.
Right.
So we must beat the crap out of the 21. It's really weird.
Like, what are you saying? Like, that was just like they can't even do that, right? You're saying like,
no, it's just it's thinking that.
Oh, I see. It says 5 Worcester.
Oh, Brandon's on it.
Students charged after mob beats up falsely accused child predator, and that's in Worcester. Oh, I'm sorry, I know this place, Worcester, Mass. 5 students from Assumption University in Worcester are facing charges of kidnapping and assaulting a man for a TikTok inspired to catch a predator. Police are saying that the man did nothing wrong, as court documents state the man went to meet a woman who was listed as 18 years old online. So So what are we saying here? Are we saying the school would not say what disciplinary action, if any, may take? First of all, the math department should take action against these fucking predators.
Yeah.
Because you have to at least be a predator.
Yes.
You can't just, I mean, it's so hard to meet people now. And this guy finally comes out of his house to meet somebody and he gets jumped.
That's crazy. But no, you're seeing it all over social media right now.
But what are you saying about this?
I'm saying that they think you're still a child at 18 and 19 and 20.
Oh, I see. You're saying so that you think part of that was this.
Yeah. I mean, they're talking about age gaps. If you're dating with someone 2 years, like over 2 years, people are freaking out now online. It's crazy. The pearl clutching is wild online right now. Lots of just like over sensationalized, just everything right now. But I'm seeing that in these conversations where people are like 20 and they think they're still a child. They don't have to. There's no responsibility yet. They can just lean on everyone around them, their family, and they just don't have to take care of anything yet. And that it's kind of hard to see. But that case that we just saw is further demonstrating that impacting other parts of the culture as well. Like we're seeing it across the board.
Yeah.
There's also this on TikTok, especially, there's like this victim Olympic stuff going on where people are trying to over victimize. Like I'm more of a victim than you from this thing. And it's like, it's an always over, just stepping over each other on who's the biggest victim.
I it's so funny you say that. I saw something like this. I love where you're at, man. Cause even some of the things you're saying, it's like things that I couldn't, you're just at this really unique intersection, I think. I just wanted to say that. I'm just realizing that more as I talk to you. But yeah, I'll see things. It's like, yeah, the fires are really bad, but realizing that it's been 11 days since your boyfriend texted you back, right? And you're like, and someone will be walking down the street with flames in the back, but they're making it about them and their boyfriend or something, you know?
It's crazy.
Or hope my door dasher's okay. It looks dangerous out here today. And they'll be from their balcony looking for their taco order. And there's buildings on fire. Like, what are we fucking...
I don't know, man.
Turn on your stove and also leave and go rescue yourself. You're going to risk it all for some raviolis? It's just, it's almost like people don't even feel like they're going to die. It's almost like, before I go off on too much of a tangent, whose fault do you think that is, that there's some of that mentality, right?
Dude.
Is it the parents or is it just society? Where are you finding the fault of that, you know?
I haven't seen parents like talk about it, so I don't see them doing it. I'm sure there's always an impact, right? But I think a lot of the TikTokification of things, and I love TikTok. I mean, we got 1 billion views on TikTok last year, you know?
Congratulations,
I'm happy.
man.
Well, thank you. But like, even still, I've seen videos of examples of people talking about a story from their past, and they're just sharing a story about something that was just, you know, slightly inconvenient. And then people go in their comment sections and say, no, actually, you're a victim. You're a victim of all this, that. Like, there was some TikTok I was watching. I don't know. I think I was watching a reaction to it. Someone was talking about how they had an awkward hand-holding experience when they were in high school. And people were going through the comments like, no, you were right. And it's like, fuck me.
Yeah.
And they're just, I don't know. It's just this enabling.
Thumb raped or knuckle raped, shit, like stuff like that. You're like, what are you going to do, a swab kit now on my hand, you know?
It's very interesting. So people, it's this kind of this reoccurring thing where just everyone's trying to one-up each other on the victim scale, but also trying to tell other people that they're victims. It's really interesting. But we're also starting to see a little bit of a cultural shift in it, I feel like, where like not everyone's like respected immediately who comes out of the gate and just like, you know, tries to act like this big victim all the time, especially other creators that try to come out and be like, I'm a big victim from this other creator who like said something bad about me. And then you can clearly see when you like look at their social blade, and that video they made was their most popular video of all time. I'm like, oh, wonder why they did that.
Right. So now if somebody gets views off of victimhood.
Yeah, in some ways. I mean, but
I think you saw, go ahead.
Well, the shitty part is it actually just diminishes like real victims.
Oh, for sure. Well, I think I saw this with Mark Zuckerberg the other day. He was on Joe Rogan's show, and he was talking about, bring up some of the clips. He was talking about how Mark Zuckerberg tells Joe Rogan podcast, Biden administration tried to censor memes in surprise episode.
These people from the Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse, and it's like these documents it's all kind of out there.
Did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think we but I think
I want to listen.
I mean, there are emails. the emails are published. It's all kind of out there, and they're like, and basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous. They wanted us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, you're going to see an ad that says, okay, if you took a COVID vaccine, you're eligible for, for this kind of payment, like this sort of like class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. And we just said, no, we're not going to take down humor and satire.
Okay, that's good. And first of all, I believe you will probably see things like that because it's a lot how drug companies work, right? But I think this is exactly what he's doing. Because they admitted before to like only putting certain stuff up during like deciding what it was misinformation or not, right? Mm-hmm. Which is just it's awkward for a platform to decide, right? Yeah. Kind of like unless something is sexual violence, things like that. I don't think that should be on, but for them to decide what was misinformation. But I feel like that's what he's doing here now. He's playing the victim here. He's trying to say,
I see what you're saying.
That they were telling us to do stuff instead of him saying we were doing these things. Right?
They were calling and swearing.
Yes.
Oh no, not swearing.
Right.
Oh no.
Right. He's just trying to say, oh, we were a victim of all this, and you're almost playing. Now you're pointing fingers at a sinking ship. Since Biden is, first of all, he's not. It's not fair to communicate with him, I don't think, and probably hasn't been for a bit because he's just not mentally well. Right. Okay. And no judgment against his party, but just to me, I've always felt like they were taking advantage of a senior citizen, right? Like if that were my father or grandfather, I'd be kind of upset, that people are marching him out every day because he believes what you're telling him, right? He believes that he's fully capable and competent,
okay,
right?
All right.
But yeah, in this instance, that's exactly, you say that there's creators doing that. I think this is one of the biggest creators doing exactly what you're saying.
Well, I mean, we had a prime example. We called the episode, our titles are wild, but someone finally walks off financial audit. I guess that's actually not that.
Someone
title.
Finally, what you said?
Walks off financial audit.
Okay.
And one of her big, she was a perpetual victim throughout her life. One of her big things is she sat down and we were talking about creating a better income for her. And she said, my therapist told me I can't have a boss. So she can't work ever because she's not able to have any kind of authority around her because it would make her feel too
triggered or something.
Yeah.
Right.
So she just couldn't have a boss ever. Right. Also, she can't do any physical activity or labor or anything. So has to sit down and do her veterinary stuff from her house, but won't get hired. And half of her resume, by the way, was like activist stuff anyway. So someone you'd be a little afraid of hiring because you don't know what they're gonna do to the culture of the company. So she's not gonna get hired, but she also can't have a boss.
Right, but she kind of low-key does have a boss if she's listening to her therapist, because then the therapist is like, well, you're gonna pay me. And you almost become an employee of your therapist. In some ways, I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but sometimes that will happen to people. And then, people are like, I can't lift anything heavy because, like, in a past life, I was a weightlifter or something who was injured. And you're like, well, we got to get the boxes on the shelves. Okay? Like,
it is difficult, yeah. And she may have had a physical disability with that, but then not being able to have a boss, like, you can't just, but then complain about how everything's bad. And let's be honest, there's no way her therapist told her she shouldn't have a boss.
Yeah.
A therapist wouldn't say that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times you'll pay and then but that kind of becomes a, like an emotional race card in a way sometimes where people are like, my therapist said that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she was lost all over the place, so I'm not surprised. But again, she was also another victim kind of in her relationship. She was dating a dude for 8 years. They got married, but she decided 2 weeks into her marriage, she wants to try titties, just on the other side.
Date women, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just go to the other side and hang out a little bit. He didn't want to. So he's a bad person for leaving her because she wanted to date women 2 weeks into marriage.
Right. You can't just be funding lesbianism if you don't want to be. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
You can support it, but if your wife leaves you, you shouldn't still have to be the guy funding it.
Yeah, or if you don't want to be open, especially, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you want a committed relationship.
So he's the bad guy because
right, so a lot of blame.
2 weeks into marriage.
What do you think is the number one thing that's preventing Gen Zers from working? Or do you think we already talked about that? Let me see where we're at right now.
Well, I mean, honestly, 60 to 70% of Americans say that they're, they report feeling stress about money. 60 to 65 say they are living paycheck to paycheck. 50 to 60% can't cover a $1,000 emergency. 1 in 4 have no retirement savings. Median 401k balance is $30,000. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things that people got to catch up on. And the big thing that kind of sucks, and this is where I do feel bad for any younger generation, where college is getting more expensive, life gets more expensive. I mean, that's what happens. You need to start saving as early as you can because, like, income's not your biggest wealth building tool, as Dave Ramsey says. I'd say that time is, because you need time in the market to let it grow. If you put $1 in at 20, it's worth so much more than $1 in at 30. But the more expensive things are, and the more we treat you like a child who doesn't have to work, and it's okay to take your time after college, and it's okay to go into debt, and it's okay to do all this stuff, the further you are from not only putting money towards retirement, but covering the $1,000 emergency or paying off the debt that's eating 30% interest a year. Yeah,
the more you have that, the more that mentality is accepted and nurtured and becomes like a habit, then surely the further you are from, if you're not even taking care of your responsibilities or, hitting like a bottom line or breaking even, then yeah, you're certainly not going to be investing.
Exactly.
Do you see that nepotism is an issue? Because, there's a lot of there was always this idea of Reaganomics where the top percent will have the money and there'll be this trickle down, right?
Yeah.
But that's never really kind of happened, it felt like.
Right. It's interesting, yeah.
Do you think nepotism, just how big of an issue is nepotism? Do you feel like you hear a lot about these days about Nepo babies, right?
Yeah.
I just wonder if you hear a lot about that in the financial world, oh, you're just like a trust fund baby or something like that,
Honestly, you don't see too much of that in my world. We've seen people that get a big sum of money. I just talked to someone the other day. She got almost $250,000 from a passed away relative, but she went into that pile of money without any behavior knowledge of how to utilize money. She's only been in debt throughout her entire life, only just blows all her money, more than she makes. So the moment she got that, well, of course, does it get saved or invested or pay off debt? No, it's gone in 5 years, just blowing it on fun stuff. So I'm okay if someone can prove themselves, that they have the talent to be known. And of course, we all, do you have any kids?
I don't have any children. I would like to have some.
Yeah. I mean, you probably want the best future for them. So
right. You do want the best future for your children. For sure.
You'd probably be willing to utilize some of your connections to help if you can.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, but it should also be based on skill. So give them the opportunity, but if they fuck up the opportunity, okay, good luck.
Yeah.
So I'm good with Nepo as long as they're proving it a little, but you got to teach that behavior.
Yeah.
Teach that behavior so they don't just blow through what you give them.
Oh yeah, I was talking to Lil Boosie one time. He's a rapper, if you're not familiar with him, and he was talking about how the hardest thing to teach is your hustle to your children, right? Your same energy for if you didn't have certain things growing up, he's like, it is so hard to transfer that energy to your children.
Absolutely.
And at the same time want to give them just, the basic needs even, and the basic needs sometimes will be fancier because you have more money to spend. Take me through a couple of examples if you can, Caleb, of Gen Zers or millennials and some of the issues, just specific things that they've showed up with on your show.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we had, this is a couple we just talked about.
Because it's so entertaining. This is one thing that's so great. It's it really is. It's just yeah, it's a financial Jerry Springer, and it's so funny that you had already coined that term for you guys selves.
Well, people use it as an insult, but it's not. So I just accepted it.
I don't think so at all.
I think as long as people are actually getting help and we connect them with resources and they 1,000,000% know what they're getting into, I think it's just the most fun thing ever. And then they have fun. Then the audience has fun. And what's crazy is we could sit down and we could just do the most boring finance content ever, and 50,000 people watch it or something, and some people learn something. Or we could do this true real show that is also really entertaining. Hundreds of thousands, millions of people watch it, and then we've calculated about 20,000 people at least have, which is based on comments and things, have gotten out of debt, saved for an emergency fund, have actually changed their life just because of watching this show that has gotten to them that they're interested in.
Yeah, and I think it's almost I can almost see this happening where we will get to like To Catch a Predator videos of like you pulling up on somebody, or not even you, just the way society is, right? Because you're kind of at this perfect section of like capitalism and like voyeurism, right?
Okay.
Where I could see there almost being like a To Catch a Predator of somebody like buying something that they can't afford, and you pull up on them on the spot. You know, it's almost like you're catching them in a transaction.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't afford this, man. What are you doing, you know?
Chop up their credit card on the spot.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's where we're headed, you know?
Some people could use it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. There's someone walking around a mall right now that should not be in there that is pretending, you know, to probably has empty bags in their hands with weights in them.
Yeah.
Some very light weights or old clothes. And is just pretending this illusion of like living in some fantasy, you know?
Well, honestly, like cities like Austin and Nashville is kind of similar to Austin, so I wouldn't be surprised if Nashville as well. It's like the richer someone looks, likely the poorer they are because they're really compensating, you know, driving a slightly nicer car, nicer clothes. They're usually in mountains of debt where you just have a dude like Zuckerberg. Well, now he looks a little, you know, he's gone carrot head and everything, or broccoli head. But, you know, before he looked like he was like poverty, but he's a billionaire. So
yeah.
That's a compensation.
Yeah, he kind of has that autism billionaire vibe, you know?
Yeah.
Which I think is like kind of the new, a lot of billionaires are autistic now. You know, it's like the new thing, you know? So who knows what they're going to do, some of them. He looks like he doesn't even eat or anything. Could you imagine him eating a meal? I couldn't.
Yeah, so he's gaining, man. He's getting those gains.
I know. I'm not saying he's not healthy or something. Yeah. I just think it's he gives off a computer energy to me sometimes.
Look up that surfing photo.
That's a good point.
Dude
actually
has a dump truck. You know, you don't get that not eating. There it is. Look at that thing. Good for him.
And he's in whiteface there, so obviously they were reprogramming him or something. You know, and they had to put his face in the shop for a week or something. No, certainly an amazing creator, but I do think there's this very strong link between autism and technological advancement that I think we'll figure out in the future. But
that'd be nice. I think I have a bit of tism, but probably not enough tism to get to the 3 Comma Club.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, it's okay, but still, you get graced with a little.
Yeah, the 2 Comma Club.
Yeah.
It's
I
fine.
beat it. I barely beat it, dude. You know, and they said it was very close in our area. Can you take me through a couple of examples?
Absolutely.
Just so my listeners can know like some of the stuff that's on your show, right?
Yeah. I mean, do you want them to pull up some shorts even?
Yeah. I mean, I know we have a couple.
Oh, sure. We were just talking to this couple. They're both okay, try not to get canceled. I guess lesbian couple. And they
we know what lesbians are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're obsessed with Disney. Mm-hmm. Lots of Disney adults are, and they're Gen Z, and they are obsessed with birthday months. I hear birthday month so much with Gen Z and girl math. And
like, what is your birthday month? That thing?
Birthday month. So you have to celebrate. So for their birthday month, they spent $2,000 on Disney exclusive passes, and then went to Disney World, spent a lot of money on that. Then they're going to Disney World 2 times next month, and then 1 time in the summer for different birthdays, different birthday months. And they spent, what did I have? $21,000 in 1 month when they make $7,000 a month.
And what is it? It's not like is it like lessons to talk like characters? Like how far, like what are they getting into?
I don't know. They live in Arizona and they drive to LA to just have their little special birthday month. This is their birthday.
Right.
I can go into debt and fuck my life. It's my birthday.
Oh, I see. So something as simple as your birthday, they can go 20 grand in a debt.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole month.
Let's see this right here. And this is some of it.
2 Disneys in these last couple months. 2 Disneys next month. You guys are literally poor.
We only went for 1 day in November.
You still traveled there, bought a gagillion dollars of food.
Took our nephew for his birthday.
His birthday.
And then we went for my birthday.
Oh, if I hear one more thing out about lesbians and their nephew, you know?
His birthday. I don't give a shit about birthdays. What is this obsession with birthdays? How are you guys getting there from Mesa?
Getting what? getting.
It's in LA, so it
Oh.
costs money to get there.
Yeah, we
drive.
We drive there.
So you're getting places to live. Does it cover the place to live when you're there?
Nope.
So you're spending money to spend more money.
Yes.
Do you get the free food while you're in there and free drinks?
No, we pay for that too separately.
We do
Wow.
get,
Talking
like
about.
10% off merch.
Got
This
it.
is not fucking crazy.
So yeah, it's like you would think, especially you can find deals nowadays where they probably could have got some free food vouchers or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just stayed off campus and went. I'm okay if they go like once a year. They have like 5 planned trips already.
Yeah.
For Disney.
And what does that give them? I think strippers and lesbians love Disneyland, right? I noticed that. Lesbians also love this. It's our nephew's birthday, right? Because for a lot of lesbians, it's probably as close as they'll get to having a child, right? Just because of science, math, or whatever. And nowadays that's changing some, but for a long time, a lot of lesbians are like, we got to get our nephew. You know, it was like that's like the biggest, craziest thing. So I think there's a lot of nephew obsession. In the lesbian community as well,
Yeah.
But that's a lot of money on Disney.
Yeah, it is.
And not much return. You get a return, but you're an adult also.
Yeah, but unlike most lesbians, I think they're going to last forever, though, because they're on the same page. And usually couples that aren't on the same page about money, that's where they divorce. But they're on the same page about wanting to ruin their lives for Disney. So it's okay. They'll be fine.
Yeah, they need to have a Disney. Now, I wish Disney had a hostel or kind of like a Section 8 area.
Yeah, they should.
Because that would be very magical if you ended up like in the trenches.
Yeah, instead of the monorail, you get a little spray painted one. Just it's a little sketchy. Someone tweaking out in there.
Yeah. But it has somebody's put like Elsa likes to on the side or something,
Yeah.
or just spray painted some wild shit on it. I think that could be kind of interesting. Okay, so you're talking to people that are wasting too much money.
Usually, lots of debt.
Okay, a lot of debt. What are some other ones that you're seeing?
We had this dude. Frustrated incel buys women instead of dating was the title.
Ooh.
He went into 8,000 hours of credit card debt just so he could go to strip clubs. He sacrificed eating so he had more money to go to strip clubs.
Wow.
2,000 hours a week on strip clubs. And his quote was, "I'm a Sigma male. I can just go to the strip club and get some booty that way." I guess it's easier for him. He was a little disappointed, though, that he couldn't lick or bite them, though. That was his one complaint.
Okay, so he didn't get the fluid pass or whatever. I don't know what.
That was another one of our guests that got the fluid pass.
Wow. Yeah. Well, strippers is that age-old kind of bait and switch. It's the illusion, That's why they always catch men like masturbating in their cars outside of strip clubs because they're, they've built up this whole illusion. That's a lot of money to spend on stripping. Now, I respect the fact that he was going without eating, though.
Yeah,
because a
he was
lot of
giving it
people are
up.
just like, I'm going to snack and whatever and still waste this money.
Yeah, he picked it up in the military. I guess that's what they were all doing overseas.
Visiting strippers and stuff?
I guess that's how they made it through.
Dieting and visiting strippers, yeah. I could see that. There was another one you had. What was the one? Bring up one of the ones that we had pulled up. The guy in the red suit was an interesting guy.
Oh, yeah.
I took the loan out to fund my emergency fund.
Where's this emergency fund
Okay.
today? I saw about $1,000.
Stop it real quick. So this guy took a loan out to fund his emergency fund.
Yeah, like 20% interest, too. By the way, dropped from 2,500.
I spent some of it.
On what emergency?
Learning how to do hair extensions.
Okay.
That's an emergency?
I wouldn't say it's emergency.
What do you think an emergency fund is
I took the money
for?
out of the emergency fund to buy a class for extensions.
The interest rate on this is 28.64%.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so originally it wasn't for the emergency fund. I just thought that would be a good idea.
Okay, so let's stop it there. So this is the kind of stuff that you're running into.
Absolutely, all the time.
And this is a young man. He took money out at 28.64% interest to learn hair extension lessons, and that was considered an emergency.
Well, first the fund is emergency fund, so he takes out 28%, even though like the best thing you get in a high yield savings is 4% right now, something like that. So you're losing a net 23%. But even still, then he just drains it from the emergency fund to learn hair extensions, which invest in yourself, invest in your skills. We like that.
Right.
At 30%, I don't know. No one would say go get a degree for 30% interest. So learning hair extensions of that doesn't make sense. But he wants to move to Thailand to escape it, though. So I think that's his out.
To escape the debt, you mean?
To escape capitalism
I
is
see.
what he specifically said. Yeah.
Do you see a lot of that? I'm going to fly away to another country. That seems like a very fairy tale type of energy.
Honestly, no, surprisingly. A lot of people, when they just get overwhelmed by their finances, they really just put their head in the sand and they just forget about it until it all comes and bites them in the ass. And that's usually when they come on our show. They realize they've had too much and they watch one of our episodes and they're like, oh shit, I got to apply. And that's when we usually see them, is when they've realized it's too much and they're in the most dire situation, but they haven't fully awakened to why. So they're still defensive on things. I'm sure they're nervous on camera. They're just normal people off the street, but that's why they're still defensive and they're trying to understand like what is going on. And there's lots of cope talk across the table from me.
And what does cope talk mean when you use that term?
Yeah, just like I was allowed to do it. It was my birthday month. It's okay.
Excuses.
Yeah, it was okay to go to school for 12 years and take out private student loans to pay for an expensive apartment. I was just trying to survive.
So a lot of people trying to, it seems like, deflect the reality of the world.
Yeah.
Like, what can I do? What class can I take? What school can I stand longer? What can I do to not have to face the fact every day that I have to be the one to survive myself?
Absolutely. And I was there too. It just takes that moment. It takes that moment for everything.
Totally.
I haven't hit it for going to the gym or dieting, but it takes that moment for plunging into the deep end.
Yeah.
There's usually something. For me, it might be a heart attack, but for my finances, it was, shit, I can't pay this month's rent. I'm continuing the cycle of foreclosure notices. So they usually find their moment, but they just don't know why things are bad, but that's when they come on. We meet them at the bottom. Usually. Some need a little further to go. And that sucks to see.
Yeah,
that sucks to see. But people that have come on our show, though, the median guest pays off $10,000 in 10 months.
Really?
So it does work. Like, it works really well. They just need that wake up call, a little of that adult moment where it's the first time someone's given them like the real shit without just trying to skate around.
Yeah, because then also after you have a piece of reality that's really like a moment, like these are real moments with people who have made some mistakes, or 'cause we've all been there. I mean, I remember I had a cell phone. I was like, I'm not paying Verizon. They don't know me. That was my thought. These fuckers don't know me, right? And I was on a bicycle at the time. Mm-hmm. I was on my bike on the cell phone, just eating up minutes or whatever, just running up a tab. Mm-hmm. And I was like, these motherfuckers don't know who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to see them come get this fucking money, right? And my friend's house who I was living at, his dad was like, get fucked, pay the shit.
Yeah.
And then I think that's when it started hitting me like, oh shit. It hit my credit, right? Next, I didn't even know I had credit. Until they called like, hey, your credit's bad. I'm like, what is it?
Yeah.
And like, your credit? And I was like, yeah.
Dude,
put him on. And they're like, no, your credit's bad. And they're like, you owe $1,100 to Verizon. I thought you could just run away from it, and you can't. But that was like kind of a bottom for me. I was like, oh, shit is really real, right? Mm-hmm. So I think moments like this are really real to people. And then you have a gentleman here who seems to be kind of sexually fluid, I'll say maybe. I have no idea. He's dressing up like, he kind of has the look of, he's like the arch nemesis of like the Monopoly guy or whatever, right? Okay. Or kind of like a Christmas sort of, like a like kind of like a
Carmen Sandiego.
Yes. Yes, like hey, like kind of like Carl Sandiego, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like he has this and it's a good energy. I like so obviously he's brave to have his own vibe, right? You can tell that, right? He's
confident. He's a business owner, this guy.
He is? Wow.
Wannabe business owner.
Business owner. But then he also has this emergency fund. And I think a lot of people sometimes when they'll create an emergency fund, a lot of fluid people will be very like, oh, this jacket doesn't fit. It's an emergency. The emergencies can be it's like, is that a real emergency type of thing?
They see it as a pile of money.
Yeah.
And that pile of money needs to be spent, of course.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, that's still a better mindset than where a lot of people come to. A lot of people will come on the show and they really haven't heard of emergency funds, and they say their credit card is their emergency fund.
Oh.
And that's... he took a high interest loan for it, so I guess that's pretty similar. But at least he understood he needed an emergency fund. Some people think if anything happens, you put it on a credit card. Now, a lot of people don't have an option, so they do that. But then, we try to help them pay off the credit card as quick as possible.
Yeah. What do you see a lot of? Is there a lot of flexing still? Like, I know that's a thing where people are like, I'm going to appear this way,
Absolutely.
right? Is that a big thing you're seeing still with like millennials and Gen Z, is like the appearance of things? Or are some people more go into like the emo hole of like, I don't have anything, I have nothing, I live in a Chipotle deep inside of a Chipotle type of vibe?
No, there's still lots of flexing and lots of cope spending too. The flexing, I mean, we have people come on with, that outfit I think was a couple $1,000.
No way, really?
Yeah, it was very expensive. I didn't think it was, but even he had red sunglasses too. They were like a few $100. It was crazy.
And hats like that, those hats are kind of costly, I know.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a dude come on with crazy rings on every single finger, but he had nothing to his name. If I remember right, he had kids and they were basically growing up in poverty, but at least he has the rings. So there's always lots of flexing. People care about what the person next to them at the stoplight thinks about their car.
Yeah.
Even though that person will never remember them 30 seconds from then.
Yeah.
I've had lots of people that I talk to where I try to get them out of a $40,000 car loan when they make $30,000 that they can't afford. And I'm like, let's just try to get you into a $10,000 car. It's like freaking out about this. She moved here, sacrificed everything. Yeah. And this dude's blowing all his money on this. And also like a million other side hustles. He's trying to do the power washing. He's trying to do the car detailing. Anything that is a TikTok get rich quick type of thing, or even just the side hustle things that some people do make work. He is just falling into it. And the Python says this is his most recent example. But the Pythons he bought have gone down 50% in value because apparently you can day trade. You can day trade the ball pythons on like a little market app.
There's a market app for day trading ball pythons.
Yeah.
So not only has somebody created a pyramid scheme of ball pythoning, right? Yeah. So you're ball pythoning, you're selling a few grams of ball python here, an eight ball python here, and then but then the whole time somebody's also, whoever engineered this fucking thing, also created an app where there's like almost a ball python coin market. Yeah. So that's going up and down as well.
Yeah.
So you're basically driving around town with a backseat full of ball pythons, waiting for the market to go up enough.
Yeah.
So you can pull over and put a couple ball pythons on somebody's tab.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's my exit strategy.
Bring that up. What the fuck? What in the fuck is happening, man?
That's Hawk Tua's next pump and dump.
I know, huh? Where's she been at?
She went to bed.
Somebody said she went to Barbados or something and she moved out of the country. Okay. But so that's a new thing that's going on.
Apparently.
What's another one that's going on? Any other pyramid schemes?
Lots of people getting into the knives pyramid schemes. They're buying, I don't even know what they're called. I've never joined them, but they buy knives to sell to other people. So lots of those, lots of people getting into the day trading life, crypto life. We had some old guy with no retirement. Poor dude. Oh. I felt so bad. He like blew through $1 million somehow. Filmed it a couple years ago, and super nice dude. But he fell into this pyramid scheme of you like buy these nutrients that people can take, but you hope they come to a storefront to step in a body scanner that tells them how healthy they are. Then they buy your nutrients. But I asked if we could come by and tour his business like a couple months after that. He kind of fell off the face of the earth. I feel like his shop doesn't exist anywhere on Google Maps, so I think that pyramid scheme collapsed. Well, the reality is, though, the reality is, in retirement, again, we already talked about 15 to 20% are actually able to, or actually 15 to 20% of people take early withdrawals before even 60. Mm-hmm. And that the median 401k balance is 30,000, but it's low and slow. That's all it is. You're cooking a nice piece of meat. It's low and slow. That's what your retirement fund needs to be. You're just hoping it doubles like every 7 years or so in the market. You just got to be investing like 20% a year, 20% a year. If
20% a year is a lot.
It's a lot, but if you accurately budget, it can be relatively decent.
Even $5 a week is a great amount.
Yeah, starting anywhere is great. Starting anywhere. I mean, that's why you focus on getting out of debt first so that you have more to invest.
Right.
Out of the high interest debt. But what a lot of people suggest is 50, 30, 20, 50% on needs, 30% on wants because you want to be able to live. What's the point of being here if we're not having fun? And then 20% to investing. So it's still the smallest percentage.
Okay. But say if you have debt, right?
Yeah.
And you could save $5 every week.
What's the debt?
You could save, say you're $10,000 in debt.
Okay.
And you're 25 years old.
Okay.
and you could save $20 a week, right? Would you rather you put that $20 a week towards paying off the debt, or is it better to take that 20 and put it towards just like a long-term investment?
Well, a couple qualifications. Like,
Okay.
what would you say the interest rate of the debt is, and what is the debt?
That's a good point. I would say the interest rate of the debt is probably going to be about 14% or
Oh,
something.
yeah, absolutely. Debt immediately. Because one, it's probably not even an asset. Like, at least a car's an asset, even if it's a depreciating one. But let's just say it's a credit card or a private student loan. That's not going to benefit anything at that point.
Got it.
So pay that off. And then the other question is, there's also the third category. Do you have an emergency fund? If you don't have an emergency fund, then at that point, we're still funding the emergency fund over investing because you need to protect yourself in case of the rainy day. And the rainy day always comes.
Because there's this mentality, I think sometimes it's like, oh, I'm not going to pay off that credit card. I'm going to invest. I'm going to save this money and invest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to invest in instead. But you're really just reverse engineering a nightmare, kind of.
Best thing you're going to get if you're just buying into the overall U.S. stock market is an 8% return averaged out, because that's what it's been all up years, down years since the beginning has been 8%. So if you have 15% debt, you're just not making the difference.
Right. Is college still considered a normal path for a lot of Gen Z?
Yeah, it can be. College, people just do college in a really stupid way, though. People go to the dream school that has the sports team they want for the major that doesn't make money. So it's not that college is the bad thing. It's you can do it the right way. Get your gen eds out of the way at a community college. Something, ACC here is super cheap. You can go for a couple $100 a semester and get some credits. So,
a lot of diversity, too, at those colleges. You want to meet some, you know what I'm saying, an Asian girl or guy or something?
Yeah.
Do it.
And larger class sizes as well. So there's a benefit instead of a big hall that you get in university. So you get more one-on-one time with professors at community college. It's actually usually just kind of better education. Just also statistically, the people that are going to community college are also more likely to drop out. So that's why some of the metrics are a little bit skewed.
I see. And if you're going to drop out, then you're dropping out there at a cheaper, at a cheaper rate.
But then you don't have to go out of state. You don't have to go to the private college. You don't have to go to the college that has your favorite sports team that's going to go in the, going to win a national championship in football. You don't need that.
Right.
And then also when you're going to college, is it going to have a return on the investment for the degree you're actually trying to get to? And if you don't know what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with taking a year off between high school and college to figure some things out. Maybe do a trade. Look at a trade. See if you're interested in that. Take a career quiz.
A trade, you mean?
Yeah, just look and see if that's something you're interested in. And then you can go to trade school in a smart and dumb way as well. There's expensive ones out there, and there's just average ones. And I don't want you to focus all your money and time on something you don't even want to do just because a plumber, they make great money these days. The median's whatever it is, but it's pretty good. If you don't have any interest in getting on your hands and knees and doing that shit, maybe we're not doing that.
Right. Yeah, you want to have some interest in what you're doing for sure, and you want to find something. I mean, that's one nice thing sometimes about going to a community college or going to a college is taking on some different courses and seeing what might I be interested in. I know I like something about this, but I don't know what it is yet. Let me get at least into that realm of classes.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to remember people that go to college, 40% drop out. So this is not a guaranteed thing. People think just because they're going to go to college, okay, my life is set now. 40% who take out student loans drop out of college.
Wow, really?
I was one of them. I dropped out $40,000 of federal student loans and $12,000 private.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me, I think, 11 years or something, or 10 and a half, or 10 and 6 years, almost, 11 years, I think, to do college.
Yeah, it happens.
And it costs money. Dude, I took a couple classes, like you already took this class and all those. I remember being like, yeah, I know. I'm good at it. I'm going to fucking take it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Doubling up the degree?
Yeah, and and I remember one time this teacher gave me a B. I went and took her class again to fucking prove to her I could get an A.
Did you prove to her?
I think she got laid off. She was dealing with addiction, pill addiction.
Okay.
But I did a good, I did my best, that's for sure. What are some things, say they don't know what they're doing right now, right? They don't know. What are let's go over some blue collar and then non-blue collar jobs that people could do. You could start at home. I've always said pressure washing. I grew up in a neighborhood where if you wanted to get a leg up, you could get a pressure washer, a couple $100.
Sure.
You can get a nice one for $500-$600. Now you have to get that money first, but
yes,
it's realistic. And then you can start you can go to a wealthy person's area and be like, hey, I'll pressure wash it, and you can do a good job. What are some other jobs like that you recommend to people to get started if they don't really have anything?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with dropping some McFries, just to try to pay the bills. People look down on that. There's nothing wrong with these extra, for the fast food jobs even, just while you're trying to pay your way through school. I mean, Summer Moon coffee shop, I like, their moon milk creamer. I basically lactate that shit.
Summer Moon, it's called?
Yeah.
I just went to a place called Two Hands.
Okay, also good, I think.
Yeah, they have nice people that work there.
Yeah, but they were hiring just a barista. The manager was talking to me. He was like, dude, get someone on your show to come work for me. I need to hire people. $18 an hour. That's not bad. Austin's pretty expensive, but $18 an hour is not bad. And that's a great place to just start, get your foot in the door. There's nothing wrong with the side hustles either, kind of like the power washing. A lot of people view that as like a side hustle, hopefully turn it into a full hustle at some point. What I caution a lot of people, though, is a lot of people go into that and they're like, okay, now I need the pressure washer. Oh, but I need the nice pressure washer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, I need the truck to be able to move it around. And that was the guy that the ball python guy, he had to buy a truck so that he could move his pressure washer around. So that's...
Yeah, I don't want to show up with 10 snakes in a fucking Ford Festiva and a Dodge Neon.
Right.
Yeah. Like, these snakes deserve a classy automobile. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, people get more excited about the actual job, the journey, the entrepreneurship more than the actual grind of it.
Oh, yeah. That is a huge trap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to look the part so much, but you still have to do the part.
Yeah. And there's nothing with just get into a bank as well. Get into a bank, work as a teller.
Yeah.
Sit down and just talk different loans to people as well. I mean, there's lots of jobs that don't necessarily require a degree that you can get into.
I remember when I first moved to Los Angeles, we put up flyers everywhere. We would do refrigerator cleaning, right? Nobody wants to clean their refrigerator.
Yeah.
And for like $200, we'd come and clean your refrigerator. And we just take clean it good.
Yeah.
And bro, I was shocked at how many people were like, I will in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Come clean this bitch. A lot of perverts too trying to fucking touch your back or whatever while you were cleaning.
Oh, sure.
But you fucking chalk it up to the 200. Have somebody on watch while you clean back and forth.
Okay, yeah.
But dog walking, that was another thing, something you could do.
Great.
Right? Car cleaning. I remember if you liked cleaning cars, you like cleaning your car.
Mm-hmm.
If you do something well, somebody will pay you to do that well for them, right? That's one thing that I always think.
We used to have a on the street audit show that we did just back in the day when I was testing things out. And I met this dude
take me through that on the street audit show. That sounds really cool.
I'd just walk up to people, those kind of camera in the face things, but I would just ask them money questions about their finances and then just kind of get my thoughts on it. But we met this dude who, Rover, the app,
like Rover Wade or whatever.
No, so it's the dog walking that you were mentioning. So you can hire dog watchers, walkers, or anything off of Rover. And
oh wow, beautiful animals on there. Is that a corgi?
He's making $175,000 a year doing that.
No, he's not. Walking dogs.
House sitting dogs, but because it's just house sitting, he can also work his full-time tech job from the house that he's sitting. So he's making like $300,000 a year. Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot you could do. No degree required for that. Sit in someone's house, feed their dog, take them out.
And the funny thing is, man, I'll say this. Once you start doing something, you don't know where it's going to lead. I will be so shocked how many times it's like, okay, you're a barista, you become a good barista. Then somebody who runs a company of some sort, they show up, they see a good worker when they see one. They're like, what are you making here? Are you making $18 an hour plus tips? I'll pay you $80,000 a year to come work right next door. Why don't you come in tomorrow and we can just talk about it, see if it's something you would like. Just because they see your work ethic, or I'll pay you. It's amazing sometimes when somebody who runs a business starts to see good work ethic, that they will latch onto it immediately.
Absolutely.
But also the things you don't know. It's like you start with a small thing and then next thing you know, it's like my brother was a tree cutter, right? He started just cutting down trees. And after a couple months, he was like, oh wait, I could be the foreman. I understand how this works. And I can do the foreman's job, right? I need to learn more. But once I learn more, I'd be happy to hire some other tree guys and put up my own advertising. Like the barrier to entry to things, it's not as hard as you think a lot of times. It's just you don't know it until you start.
Yeah, one of the first full-time editors that I hired, dude was making the math worked out to almost like $6 an hour working for a YouTuber, but his editing was great. And with the different incentives and everything I give just based on skill, he was making $6 an hour to now 100,000 a year.
Yeah, I have a
So,
friend-
like, if you can prove it.
Right. And I have a friend who's been doing some personal assistanting for another friend. And I was like, bro, you should just start learning social media edits, learn how to do them. So then whenever you're with this guy, now you could, just capture a couple things on your phone, put it through one of these kind of like different filters or different programs that they have online. There's CapCut, there's all these different things. And next, you can show him 3 examples the next day. And now the next time he hires you to go out with him for an eve or whatever it is, you can tack on an extra $30 an hour because you're going to make a sick edit for him or something. There's a lot of things that you can do. I think that's kind of an easy one you can learn is how to become a social media editor, video editor.
Yes.
Now you're going to have a computer that works to do it. And you're going to have at least your cell phone to be able to do that. But I think that's realistic. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, carpet cleaning is something that people don't want to do a lot of times.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's my small business, or that's what the small business my dad owns is just, a little power wash and window cleaning and carpet cleaning.
Wow.
And that's what took him from, being a cashier at a gas station when we were poor, when I was born, to now they're doing really well because you can grow that, you can scale that. They opened a second branch. They're doing well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunities there. And then in like the video editing world, just if you're just asking yourself, what can I do to make that person's life easier? They'll give you money.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Trying to think of some other ones work from home that aren't as blue collar. I know there's data entry is one. I see a lot of advertisements for data entry. Is that a valid one?
It could. I honestly have no idea. It could be.
Yeah. Yeah, look that up. Is data entry a valid gateway job or something?
I mean, honestly, just any way to get into building a business and just getting to know management there and working with them and just asking what do they need and being able to fulfill those tasks, you'll move up. Yeah.
According to current data, an entry-level data entry position typically pays around $15 to $20 per hour in the U.S. with an average annual salary ranging from $30,000 to $40,000.
And are you going to do that your whole life? No, but sometimes just getting into the company is...
You may need to do it for a couple months to get out of a situation.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do it while your kid's at school. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just trying to think of little ways. I know that these are obviously me saying these things and I have no idea what some of people's real lives are like.
No, of course. But in the conversations, what I see are people looking down on shops like that.
Right.
They're not willing to, even though they're not paying their bill.
Yeah. Right.
It's like at that point, everyone's just looking down upon them. I mean, the car company that's about to repo them. The bank is looking down on them. They can work that job. They can work the McDonald's, like, whatever it is, just to make ends meet.
Have you ever had somebody come in with a business idea that was just repulsive and you saw them going down a road and you're like...
That old guy I was telling you about, he did pump like about $1 million into this whole thing. Really, his entire life savings, everything he's worked for, into his 60s, 70s, wherever he was. And again, the machine, whatever this body scanning machine is, I'm not in that world, so I don't know. But I know it was like 50,000 or something crazy. And the storefront that he was investing in, again, just a quarter later.
Biofrequency gadgets are a total scam. Let's zoom in on this, see if this sounds like it. I would like to find this so we can put this out. This is interesting. I recently asked what I thought about the Solex AO scan. This website for the product includes this claim. AO scan technology by Solex is an elegant yet simple way to use frequency technology based on Tesla, Einstein, and other prominent scientists' discoveries. It uses delicate biofrequencies and electromagnetic signals to communicate with the body. Was it something like that, or no? It had nutrients involved, you said?
Well, no, he used the results to try to sell people to get nutrients.
Oh, I see.
And that was the pyramid scheme he was a part of.
Got it. So first there's going to be a place where people are going to get this scan done, and then based on the outcomes of the scan, you're going to be able to sell them nutrients to get them equal.
Exactly.
Get them whole. Wow. Man, it's crazy the level of people. We had a glitter mining thing by us growing up. People sold these glitter, like you could buy shares of glitter mines or whatever, where they were mining glitter, and they fucking robbed so many of us.
Oh yeah.
I was in a pyramid scheme too. I lost something.
What'd you sell?
It was like you basically sold somebody right into a pyramid. Like I got into on the chart. It was a pyramid.
Yeah.
And it was like, well. I remember asking somebody, like, is this a pyramid scheme? And they're like, I don't know.
You remember what you were selling?
Just, you sold literally the square that you had. It was like, I'm going to somebody sold me a square. And then it was like, okay, now I get 2 squares. I get to sell 2 squares. It was a.
That is like a literal pyramid. Okay, yeah.
And dude, the crazy part was, I remember asking my friend's dad about it, and he had bought into it too. So everybody got took by us.
We see people get into the makeup one a lot.
The makeup pyramid scheme?
Yeah, and it's where you buy makeup from someone else and you sell that to other people and you try to recruit people to sell makeup. And
well, there's like Donna K. What's that? Donna. What's that? K. Mary Kay.
Mary Kay. We get lots of Mary Kays.
You do?
Yes, absolutely.
I'll tell you a story. I was at in West Virginia. I was doing a show there one weekend, and they had the grand sellers of the Mary Kay group, and they all had Cadillacs or whatever, and they were doing a big thing there, and they all pulled up. I mean, they must have had 40 different Cadillacs that they pulled up in
They
there.
figured out the game.
Multi-level marketing, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I mean.
Again, people don't want to do the low and slow. They want to get rich now.
Right.
They're not willing to just invest and hopefully hit that 59.5. That's when you can withdraw from your retirement, tax advantage retirement accounts without a penalty.
Is that one of the things you see with the younger generation is just because of TikTok, there's so many more schemes out there?
Yeah.
It's people wanting the easy way out.
Absolutely, because they see other people that have a proven success rate to actually do it. So it's just a quick way to get to wealthiness, and 60 seems so far to a 20-year-old.
So far.
Yeah.
What were some, I know there were some, I'm trying to think of some different inventions or schemes. There was one called Dyna, D-Y-N-A. It was a bike wheel. This thing was crazy. Dyna bike wheel. This was it. Pull up this Dynasphere. Dynasphere vehicle. Zoom in. The Dynasphere is a monowheel vehicle designed patented in 1930 by John Archibald Purves from Somerset, UK. Purves' idea for the vehicle was inspired by a sketch made by Leonardo da Vinci. Look at this thing. 2 prototypes were initially built, a smaller electric model and one with a gasoline motor. Let me see. The driver's seat and the motor were part of one unit mounted with wheels upon the interior rails of the outer hoop. I mean, this thing looks crazy. If you can't see this on audio, but it's basically a guy driving a huge tire around. The singular driving seat and motor unit, when powered forward, would thus try to climb up the spherical rails, which would cause the lattice cage to roll forward. So basically, you're in a fair. It's like something you'd be in at a carnival. Yeah. Steering of the prototype was crude, requiring the driver to lean in the direction sought to travel. Though Purves envisioned future models equipped with gears that would shift the inner housing without leaning, thus tipping the Dynasphere in the direction of travel. A novelty model was later constructed by Purves that could seat 8 passengers, the Dynasphere 8, made specifically for beach use.
I want to see that. How do you fit 8 people in that?
It looks like a beach toy. It's basically like a hamster wheel. If you guys could imagine a hamster wheel that someone drove. Oh, there you go. There's that 8-seater. Oh, that's kind of cool. You get to sit in a circle and it just cruises. That's romantic.
Yeah.
Okay, go back. I just want to see what happened to it. It was also impossible to steer or brake. Another aspect of the vehicle that received while the vehicle could move along just fine, it was also impossible to steer or brake. Another aspect of the vehicle that received criticism was the phenomenon of gerbling, the tendency when accelerating or braking the vehicle for the independent housing, holding the driver within the monowheel to spin within the moving structure. Imagine you slam on the brakes, right? The vehicle stops, but you just keep spinning in the middle.
We need Elon to get on this. Bring it back.
Yeah, that's something we need back. What else did that? I'm trying to think of the banana slicer. Can you see if you find that one? This was something that somebody invented. The problem was, go to that one right there on the right. Hutzler, go to the Hutzler right there. It was a one-size-fits-all. Your banana had to be one size.
Right.
So if your banana was obtuse, or if it was like, I don't want to say an African banana or whatever, but if it was a different type of banana or a Filipino banana, I don't think you couldn't use this one. But that's crazy to think about, right?
Yeah.
That somebody invented that. That was kind of a crazy one. I'm trying to think of anything else I remember hearing about. There's always that baby cage. People would put that baby outside of the window. Remember that? That baby cage out window. Yeah.
They hung it from a window.
Yeah, there you go, right there. Get that little baby at that cage, baby. The bizarre history of the baby cage. Click on that. Get me a link to that, Daddy.
It's a little Auschwitzy.
Little Auschwitzy, yeah. Little outsides witsy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Play on words there. Dangling baby cages came into vogue after they were invented in 1922, but their origins really began with the 1884 book, The Care of Feeding of Children, by Emmett Holt. Emmett carefully describes how babies need to be aired out. Fresh air is required to renew and purify the blood, and this is just as necessary for health and growth as proper food. And what were those cages? How big was that baby cage, Daddy? Oh, that baby's enjoying it, huh? It's got to be kind of nice. Put your baby out there for an hour. Let him meet a bird or whatever.
Yeah.
Have a falcon fucking befriend him. It was believed that exposing infants to cold temperatures, both outside and through cold water bathing, would grant them a certain immunity to catching minor illnesses. I could see some of that.
This is the first cold plunge.
Yeah, that's all this is. Yeah. Yeah, that's the first cold plunge right there. That's Wim Hof, I think. That's one of the earliest pictures of Wim Hof right there. That's Joe Rogan right there when he's a baby. Tell me a little bit about your own budgeting at Simpler Budget so I can make sure that people know about that, young people who are confused or they don't want to end up in a bad financial realm. Tell me about Simpler Budget.
The first part of just like fixing finances is the budget, because you got to know what's going in and out. And a lot of people overcomplicate it. They get a spreadsheet that they can't manage, or they download an app like You Need a Budget, which is another really good one, but it's like so complicated and the learning curve is huge and it has all these qualifications for so many things that you just don't need. People that are in bad finances literally just need one place where they can just connect their accounts, tells them where money's going, and you can figure out where to actually stop spending money or close a credit card. Or we're tracking different accounts where you can see your investments as well, so you can see if you're on track and whatnot. So just that simple stuff. And what a lot of people struggle with, even if they create a simple budget on a spreadsheet, they don't come back to it the next month. So they make the budget, but then they don't actively budget, because budgeting is not just making a budget. You got to stick to it. You got to follow it. So this helps you by setting alerts and whatever you need, and continued education. And the premium version, we have these classes with financial professionals that you can join live and ask them questions, and they help mentor you.
Now, are these classes more valuable than the original classes? So these are real classes. These are valuable classes.
Yeah, well, these are financial professionals, certified financial planners and whatnot, and people with budgeting experience. Again, the thing we talked about at the beginning, that was just teaching how to day trade. So that's
right. So day trading in its own right is risky. This is teaching people how to save and budget and plan.
Budget, proven things that like every licensed financial professional would talk about. So keeping people on track, people just need those extra motivations. A lot of people watch our show that are on track to budget and pay off debt, but they keep coming back because it helps them stay motivated throughout the week.
For sure. It's almost like going to recovery meetings or AA meetings. It's like you go to the meetings just to keep the word in your head, right? Yeah. You want to stay motivated. Exactly. Yeah, I love the idea that you have this world that's entertaining, but then the back end of the entertainment is let's keep people budgeted and on track. It's like, it's exactly really what a lot of young generation needs, because everything has entertainment value now. Mm-hmm. It's like, you're at a funeral and there's people, like they're selling albums and shit or whatever, like they're, but there's everything has entertainment value now. So to have an entertainment value with adding financial structure to people's lives, I think that's really amazing. There's a lot of people out there that you don't know if you can trust. I've seen them in over my lifetime where you come with these guys. I'm going to name some of these guys. Financier types in the world. And will you be willing to just give me your take?
If I know them.
If you know them. Okay,
Grant. Pull them up.
Okay, Grant Cardone is one.
Yeah, Grant Cardone, one message that I kind of know about him is he's okay with going into a lot of debt and risking everything in order to get, property or start a business. He's like, if you're not making six figures at 21, you're a failure, I think. Hopefully I'm not putting words into his mouth because I don't follow a lot of his stuff. But I know it's a little too risky for my taste. It's a little too risky, a little too flexing of wealth. Him with his private jet there. I get the aspirational part. That's great. Maybe you'll get there someday. But let's just be realistic for the average American. Low and slow, invest, try to get to retirement.
Yeah, I think the flexing of wealth is so bizarre to me, because if I looked at something somebody else had, I would feel bad if I don't have it, I feel like, or part of me would. Okay. Part of me would feel inferior or something, maybe not like up here, but somewhere in my head, I'd be like, oh, I'm not good enough or something. I don't understand sometimes why people do that sort of thing. But I also understand that's just my school of thought, and that some people like this aspirational style. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's see the flash, and that motivates some people. So I think there's a motivational tactic in it. Alex Hormozzi, you know him?
Oh, yeah. I think he's really good in like the motivational part. You know, I don't know a lot about his own financial advice, but in terms of, you know, really being motivated for your entrepreneurial mindset, that's been really good. And honestly, I've watched a couple of his videos when I was dealing with a couple, you know, issues while we were scaling our business, and just like, you know, what does this guy do? He built like a multi-million, $100 million business. Wow. And you know, obviously that's if someone's done it, maybe listen to them. Yeah. So I've listened to a couple things that have been beneficial from him.
Ty Lopez, he's the famous guy that would read a book a day. That shit always was crazy to me.
I think this is the guy that kind of put a bad taste in everyone's mouth about buying courses online, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because I think we've put a lot of time and value and resources in producing educational content that, you know, people could pay for, that helps guide them a little more handheld. And we've seen like one of the lowest refund rates, even though we offer free refunds, like no matter what. And we've seen like the lowest refund rate in the industry. But so many people immediately, they see the class and like, oh, it's a scam. It's a scam. You have to pay for it. It's a scam.
Right.
And it kind of started with this dude selling a course on a million different things.
We had the book in a day shit was always weird. Like, I don't even know if I want to talk to a guy who just read Where the Red Fern Grows. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I want to fucking talk to some guy who just read that in one day.
But again, it was the Grant Cardone like wealth flexing thing. All his videos were like, you know, behind a Lamborghini in a garage, and that's not where the average person's going to be, and that's okay. It's okay to be
poor. It's fun.
Well, it's okay to be settled with just a good, content retirement. Not everyone needs to risk everything to go crazy and go into a lot of debt on a big risk. Not that that's what he advocates for, but
yeah, and having a job is just one of the most important things. I remember my buddy's dad would always just say, do you have a job? It's the first thing he would ask me every time I saw him. Do you have a job? If I had a job, he'd talk to me. If I didn't have a job, he wouldn't talk. It's just like, you need to have a job. You need to have something you are doing. And not because you need to be part of capitalist society, but because you need to go and do something, right? You have to have a job. It can be, you know, you're making something at home that you're aiming towards selling or doing, but you want to have some motivation. A job is just a form of motivation. It's just an active motivation.
Well, there's some purpose. People find purpose in jobs. Some people are purposeless after retirement.
Oh,
people do. You know, FIRE. Do you know FIRE?
Do I know FIRE? FIRE?
The independence movement, where you stack up as much money as possible, invest it all like crazy, so you can retire at like 45. A lot of people did that, and no one's really doing it anymore because everyone retired at 45 with a few $1 million, and they're bored and they have no purpose and there's nothing because they don't have a job. They have a family maybe, but they don't have the purpose.
Oh, I know. I have some women friends that have like really got focused on, and now they want families and stuff. And so now that's a little bit tough for some of them.
Oh, sure.
I think FIRE affects women probably differently because they can have children maybe too, you know, if they focus so much. But even guys, like, I mean, I focus on work mostly. My biggest relationship is my work. Yeah. You know, it's like, I don't have a relationship right now. I'm not lamenting about it. I would like to get married or something. But when I'm like, who's my spouse? It's my work, you know. I put a wedding ring on my job. You know, I like working. The second I think about doing something, I think about working. You know, what about Gary Vaynerchuk? He's kind of a wild one, huh? Gary's always been like the guy. He's like, oh, you got silverware in your house? Sell it right now. You know, sell your silverware, sell your house. How much is your house worth? $3,000. Sell it
to get out of debt, or
sell
what?
the silverware, $65, and then he'll pull up. Like, I'll be standing in a park, right? Because he has nowhere to live now. He's eating soup with his hand because he has no more utensils, right? And Gary will be like, "How much money you got?" And the guy's like, "I got $4,000 cash." And he's like, "You fucking did it, buddy!" And he'll hug him and then drive off in a limousine, right?
All right.
But it's like, that's the thing. It's like, you just don't want any loose cash sitting around, you know?
What's the
He's like,
purpose?
oh, your grandmother's asleep, sell her fucking nightgown while she's resting. She don't need it. You know, it's like anything they have, lease it out. Your grandfather's taking a nap, lease out his eyeglasses while he's resting, you know? It's just all type of stuff like that, man.
Do you know the purpose though? I'm so curious because I do not know this guy.
It's a motivation, I feel like, right? And this is just my opinion also. But it's just, it's always, there's always something they want to motivate you to do, you know?
Yeah.
And Vaynerchuk, his family owned a wine company growing up. No shade, but it's like, Dude, if my family had a wine company growing up, you know, I remember my mom beat me one time with a bag of fucking frozen oranges. I remember that shit.
Did he sell his winery?
It's a little different than that, but I'm just saying, I'm not sure. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? The Merlot don't fall far from the grape. You know what I'm saying, brother? What else were we going to talk about? Ty Dolla $ign. Is he an investor? No, he's just what does he do? Is he a financial advisor? No. There isn't much information about Ty Dolla $ign's investments. Okay. So I don't know how he ended up on our list then. What else? Anything else on our sheet wanted to go over? Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about specifically, Caleb?
Oh man, I just want people to realize that they're in a better place than they think they are. You know, that's kind of one thing we didn't really talk about.
Okay.
Is that I don't want to like glug glug on America.
I agree. I don't want to be negative only.
Yeah. There's a lot more opportunity that people aren't willing to accept. We're in a very doom and gloom right now where everyone, again, we talked about the victim thing earlier, and everyone's like, it's impossible to get ahead. It's why do anything? Because everything's so hard right now. And obviously inflation was brutal, especially when it was nearing that like 9%. But like we just had yesterday, before we filmed this, 256,000 jobs added in the last month when they expected 155,000. Like unemployment rate at 4.1%. Here we have a GDP $25 trillion, where in the UK, Germany, Japan, we're looking at $3 to $5 trillion. GDP per capita here is 70 to 80,000. UK 47,000. You know, there's a lot of opportunity here. And I don't want people to just really always beat themselves down. And I know, like my shows, it is on the negative side because their finances are really bad. But I want people to know they do have more opportunity out there if they're willing to take a little bit of risk.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's this pressure, probably especially with the younger generation, you have to put your life on a social media, right? Mm-hmm. And so then you would feel more shame about having certain jobs because you wouldn't want to put that reality on the social media. Yeah. Where like when I was in high school or in college, that wasn't a thing. It was like social media was coming up, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't like you didn't have that immediate reaction with people like ripping you or roasting you or making fun of you online. So I think that's a different thing where it's like, oh man, not what will I think of this job? Man, what will other people think if I post about this job or if I live in this world? And I think that's where you can just be creative. If you do want to post about your job, be funny about it. Be like, you know what I'm saying? And also you have to just realize like it's the shit that you don't want to be doing. That's when you sit there and your brain thinks up the shit you do want to be doing, dude.
Yeah.
When I was doing shit I did not want to do, dude, that's when my brain was getting inspired, bro. Mm-hmm. I mean, my brain was like, and that's when I got to see what my brain even was. My brain was like, we're going to figure this out. My brain started to surprise me with ideas and thoughts. And so I think that, yeah, you have to like, just know that sometimes you feel like, man, I'm in the dirt, but you're really in the soil kind of type of vibe, you know?
Yeah, I like that mentality. There's a lot of shame in certain jobs right now. And
and we put it on. It's like, just put the fries in the bag. It's like, sure, but dude, I used to just put the pizza in the box forever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we had and it was a blast, dude.
Yeah, I delivered Jimmy John's for like 6 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, it was great.
I've had Jimmy John on this podcast.
Yeah.
As a business entrepreneur.
Big dude.
Yeah, great dude, man.
Very big dude.
I saw him 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's just like you just never know where you're going to be, you know? Like, I mean, you just don't. You know, Jimmy John's my favorite sandwich. It almost got hit running across a fucking highway to get a couple months.
What are you, a number 9 guy? I'm a number 9 guy.
Me, I go turkey tom, extra turkey, light mayonnaise. Don't look me in the fucking eyes. I'll come in there and get it, okay?
I love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'll honk my horn for I'm going to come in. I'll even call them and tell them that. And they're like, this is getting a little weird. I'm like, I want everybody looking the other way, leave the sandwich on the counter. It is a very kind of like, it's the closest I get to like robbing a bank or whatever. What was the last thing I was going to ask you? What do you think of an 8-leg parlay as a realistic probability for somebody trying to get a leg up in the world?
You're going to have to explain that one to me.
I'm talking about somebody who's got $10 left and they put it on.
Oh, shit.
And they put it on 8 football games to all hit for a weekend.
Okay.
Because this is happening basically in every pie kappa house in America.
Yeah. Dude, betting is getting kind of out of control right now.
It's getting crazy. I mean, you have people laying in their bed at night, fucking, just hopped up on Zens praying for Saquon Barkley. It's getting bizarre.
These betting companies want to sponsor us like every day.
Do
We have to tell them to fuck off so much. It's crazy. It's like any kind of drug, any kind of drinking, any kind of whatever. Betting can be fun. It can be good. If it gets addictive, that's where it's bad. $10 if